we'll have more of a fund balance carried forward into it. So that would leave us more, at the end. But what the total expenditures do is that authorizes you to spend that money.
Right.
On what we thought it needed to be spent for. If you have more money left over in your fund balance coming forward, then that's good. But
Yes, sir.
but when you budget a year ahead of time, you still have to have some estimates.
Right. No, my concern was not what we're estimating. Yeah, you're right, it's an estimate. Doesn't mean we have to spend it, it doesn't really matter to me. What I was concerned with is the numbers. We're 160 something under, and we projected to spend 300 over. My number is 460 something if where we would be right now, behind, under what we had projected to spend, and that was my concern. So hopefully we can keep it that pace.
Well, yeah, we're actually doing better in 2020 by that number. The 169,000, we're actually under budget as far as expenditures go.
Right.
Which means we have more of the fund balance to carry into this year.
Beautiful.
But the expenditures are still, what we've been through in the last few meetings. So we're still projected to overspend by $590,000. What happens if we come out ahead this year is that just gives us a bigger fund balance to go forward into it.
Yes, sir. Yeah, we have to find a way to live within our means.
So,
continue.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
The reason for the question is, Mr. Boyd, because the board at times in the community asks us, hey, you're going to go 600,000 in debt in 2020, 2021 budget, and that's not necessarily so. That's all dependent on Herminio and his staff and how they spend. And I think they've done an excellent job this fiscal year because we're still under budget. We have 2 months to go. So it seems like we're going to beat our projections this year unless something major comes into play. So that's a good thing. That's an excellent thing. And I think
it is good.
Yeah, that's what we want. That's what we're after.
It is good, but we still have to realize that we're planning to spend more money than we're taking in revenue. I mean, and everybody, talks about that, the fact that, we are planning to spend a good bit of money. That the fact that if we have a successful comparison to last year's budget, we'll have more money to carry into this.
Correct.
So that's a good thing.
And the staff did a lot of great things, and a lot of, I think a couple pieces of equipment were bought off, a big chunk of change, so that will be coming back into the fund as well. So it depends.
Right.
It depends how the board and how Herminio spends his money. But I'm pretty proud of the board as well as our staff, because in these last couple of years, we've spent quite a bit of money. And if we're barely upside down, that shows progress, that shows improvement. So I'm thankful for that, and I appreciate your numbers. It just scares people when they tell us in 2020, 2021, they think that we're going to be upside down 600,000, and that's not necessarily so. It depends how the manager spends and how the board does certain things.
The next 2 months.
Yes.
People have
We're not upside down as far as equity because we have balances carried forward to use, and if management holds down the expenses, then it won't be that much. But you still have to consider that people want the roads improved, that they want things improved. So that is going to cost money.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the clarification.
I'm sorry. Which leads me to a conversation you and I had. Don't forget those numbers. I need those numbers. We talked about the numbers we talked about.
Yeah.
I have got them. I need those. I'm working on that same. On just what we're talking about. So, all right.
Okay. So nothing actually has to be done in tonight's budget meeting. I mean, as far as making motions or doing anything like that. It's the September meeting where we actually approve the budget, because the way things have been advertised and all that.
10-4. You have anything else for us, Mr.
So,
Boyd? Is it?
I'm sorry. No, that's it. I mean, you've got the budget in the traditional layout that says tentative, and then you've got the way we show it for the annual. It's the same one we saw last month.
Okay.
And,
does anything stick out? Is there anything in this upcoming budget that sticks out of the ordinary to you?
well, not so much. I mean, we've allocated $200,000 to road paving and resurfacing,
Yes, sir.
and $200,000 to rebuilding dirt roads.
Yes, sir.
Regular maintenance of roads is like at $90,000. So those are the bigger numbers, but Armenio has been involved in all those, and that's putting in a chunk of change, but it's what needs to be done.
Yes, sir. Okay. Anybody on the board have a question?
The good thing is after being back and forth, John and me and Becky, we were able to put another $100,000 for rebuilding roads.
Good.
So last year was $200,000. This
Yes.
year is going to be $300,000.
Good.
So we're going to be able to do a lot more.
Just remember, I want that 100,000 back. Don't plan on spending it.
I'll try.
Get
to
it,
get
but
back.
let's see what we can do with it.
And,
Put it back where it belongs.
and Mr. Boyd, it's very helpful when at least for me, I'm still trying to understand it, but it's very helpful when I can see the percentages, and then I can communicate with Herminio, and he's done an excellent job. I know he hit it hard. And then also, I just want you to know, I'll talk about it in the next meeting. But thank you. Is there any questions from the board?
No. I also want to thank the manager and the assistant manager and the workers in Central County. Please let them know that I thank them.
What is other contract services?
I appreciate it. Thank you.
John, you still there?
He's there.
Can you hear me? John? John, can you hear me? Are you there? I think we're talking at the same time.
Becky, you want to answer Benny? What do we put under other contracts and service?
Yeah, I see it right here.
No, but she got a specific code for each line item.
Other contract services, that's where we have Kelly services, like if they have to come actually out here and repair something. Yeah. Everglades equipment, if we have to have an actual service call out to them. They have to come.
Maintenance contracts?
It's any other contract that is not within our line items.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to see that say something else, but anyway. Okay. That's question answered.
Yeah, he was talking.
It's gotta be on his end, cause he's unmuted on my
He
end.
unmute himself.
Okay.
He might have to disconnect and connect.
He tried something.
Can you hear us, Mr. John Boyd?
He's trying to talk.
He's talking. We don't hear you.
He put there.
It appears to be I'm unmuted on this end, but
You good?
You're good? You're good now.
You're good now. You're good. Go ahead, Mr. Boyd.
can y'all hear me now?
Yes. We can hear you.
Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, like she was saying, I would have to look back, in the ledger to see what's under other contract services, but,
Rebecca answered it.
you know, if we can, we can pursue that like at the next meeting or something. I don't have the whole ledger with me.
Hey, John Boy, can you turn up the
Let's see.
volume at your end? I'm not sure you're hearing us. We can hear you perfectly. Then you can turn up the volume on your computer.
I'm looking right now to see.
Rebecca already answered that question, Mr. Board.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's everything that has to do with, you know, electrician and stuff like that.
Okay. Well,
And when do we need to vote on the budget, Mr. Boyd?
at the September meeting, that's what's been advertised. Vote on it then, so we don't really have to vote on anything or do anything right now.
10-4.
Just presenting it, you know, for the final, you know, presentation before the approval.
Right. This is a workshop, so if you want to move money, if you want to add somewhere, subtract somewhere, this is it.
If we can, and you've done an excellent job, and I thank you, but if you could clarify, like for instance, and I'm glad Supervisor Alvarez brought it up, the other contracts, like for me, I'm thinking about business. I'm thinking about a business or a contract with a lawyer, a contract with a firm. So if we can clarify that just a little bit more, would be helpful. So when we're scrutinizing, and then contingency, I know contingency is so. That's kind of usually money where you can move around just in case if you're short in one area.
Right.
We're correct on that?
Yeah, what we did as far as just regular contingency is the 50,000 that you see on the tentative budget. But the way it works on the final budget is up top, you bring in that $2,993,000 as our carry forward as far as the fund balance. And then you put it under contingency because you don't have any real plan to spend that money. So really but we do have contingency that can be applied, and then as always we can move things among line items.
I definitely see some.
No.
Yes, sir. I definitely see something that sticks out like a sore thumb, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us, because we've never seen. Not saying that we've never seen it, but we've never addressed it. Do you want to talk about capital outlay pump station number 12? Because that's a pretty hefty number that we've never used.
Okay, yeah. We had that last year, and Larry can do more about that. But if we don't intend to spend that money, the $280,000, unless we get a grant. Up top, the third line item down from the revenues is $200,000. So, you know, we had that the year before and we had it now. If, you know, Larry can speak to this more than me, but this will only be spent, the $280,000, if we get $200,000 in the grant.
So we have that.
So it's like a matching fund. So it's like a matching fund for the grant?
Yeah, I mean, is Larry available there?
I see his icon, but I don't see a picture of it.
Okay.
So
Anyway, that money is not coming out of our normal funds. I think we're trying to get a matching grant.
Gotcha.
Where we can get a $280,000 pump station and have them pay for $200,000 of it. But
understood.
that's not coming out of just our normal money.
Understood. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Any questions? Ferrero, any questions?
Sir,
Becky?
I'd like to get a document.
Any questions for?
I have a question. Okay. $10,000 for uniform?
Thank you, bro. Sorry?
$10,000 for uniform?
The contract's not over yet.
It's supposed to be over
2 months.
2 more months?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, now it's 1 month, but we talked about it a month ago.
Where's the 10,000?
Uniforms.
That would be shaky.
I got another question.
That was compared to what we had before. I understand it.
Will be over.
Kind of change all that, but that's, you know, we're just projecting numbers based upon what they were. I mean, if we can come in under that, that'll just help our overall.
Summer
budget.
camp is another question.
That's a year.
I know.
10, 11, that's a year.
We're projecting for summer camps also for next year.
I'm sorry?
Summer camps for next year, we're projecting also some funds.
Summer camp is included on the budget, just like every year. I don't know if we're gonna be able to have it or not. But if we do, it's there.
Okay.
Yes.
Any other question?
Yeah, I mean, if we don't have a summer camp or something, that'll just be money we can allocate to other line items.
Good.
But right now, we've got it allocated to that.
It has a budget, it has a money.
That was the $1,800 for the vending machine supplies. I was curious what that was. Not a lot, it's actually not a lot of money. What is vending? What is vending?
Vending machine is the
Supplies.
the snack.
And the soda machine at the clubhouse.
It's a soda machine.
And a snack machine. It's there just for the benefit of the public. We don't really make.
So supplies meaning that's the stuff that you're reselling or fixing?
You have to buy sodas, buy candy, and then resell it.
Okay,
Yes.
that's what I need to know.
Yes.
That
Yes.
don't sound like, that sounds like supplies,
We-
like working
No,
on the machine.
we get
Yeah.
we get maybe like, I would say like 5% profit over.
No, I got you.
No.
Supplies sounds like, and I'm sorry, I'm catching up a little bit here tonight.
Right.
So, you know. Okay.
Okay.
Any comments, any suggestions, Mr. Boyd?
Well, I'll get back to you with a better breakdown about what's on our other contract services.
Okay.
But, we've been over this budget with Terminio and everything. This is what, is planning to be spent on the major items, but
Yes, sir.
the real control comes when if you don't spend that much, just like this year, we're under budget, so just because it's budgeted doesn't mean it has to be spent.
Amen.
And that's what we're trying to spread to the public. Just because there says we're supposed to have a deficit, that doesn't mean we're actually going to have a deficit. Because again, we're looking at a year out. Arminio and them might do another excellent job and come under budget, like we might do again this year. So the perception, though, out in the community is we're going over budget every year, and that's not necessarily so. It's dependent on how we utilize the budget and if we spend wisely. So I appreciate, like as we said before, I appreciate the staff because we have accomplished a lot of things with limited funding. So we are showing progress, and that's a great thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, I agree.
It should be better for them. It's gonna be getting better because we already bought the tractors, we already bought the boom mower. We're just getting better and better.
You probably have a few rough years. It's going to be a cycle. Once you get this thing set up right, you have a few years you're going to go hard. And you have quite a few after that. It follows.
Let's just keep in mind that we have a 13,000 hour rate.
Yeah, well, that's a big one.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
So, Mr. Boyd, let me ask you something. I've been to a couple small business seminars here locally, and they talked about SCBA loans on equipment and stuff like that. Do we qualify for those types of loans? Because what I don't want to do...
What's the name again?
I think it's called a SBCA or SCBA, something like that.
SBA?
Are you talking about the small business?
Yeah, it's through a small business loan, but the thing that I like about it in the seminar that I was in, it was where a lot of cities buy machines for 20 years, a 20-year contract, a 30-year contract, instead of a conventional bank loan where you're doing it in 5 years. It's more spread out over time. Because there's still some heavy equipment that is very aged here that's probably, it's going to start breaking down. Eventually we're going to say, hey man, we're throwing away good money into something that needs to be scrapped and to get replaced because of the man hours.
The meaning was the.
So can you look into that for options, better options than just going to a normal bank and say, hey,
Yeah.
we're $100,000 machine for over 5 years?
Right, and paying it out over a longer period of time.
Yes, sir. If I had more income, we'd buy
We can-
cash, but we don't have that kind of income.
Yeah. Okay, well, we can look and see if other
If you
things
could at
available.
our next meeting, just give us the options, what kind of good options that we have available. Maybe
Right.
even leasing is an option to think about. Maybe, what's the rent?
Yeah, I
There's a
mean,
home
we-
place in closer. Buddies.
I mean, usually when it's time to buy one of these big pieces of equipment, then Arminio gets, the different information about leases versus their financing. Sometimes their financing is fairly low interest, but I don't know that anybody's gone out to look and see what, the Small Business Administration loans are.
Yes, if we could explore the options, because what I'm looking here going forward is for us to get creative and think outside the box. We don't have to do traditionally what everybody else does, you know what I'm saying? I want to get creative because we have to let this money, we have to spend it wisely, and we have to, make it divide, multiply, and everything else. So we've done an excellent job, I feel, this fiscal year, and I want to continue those good habits and that good spending. Because we just need a few more pieces of equipment, I believe, and we should be set for a good 10, 15 years.
Yes, sir.
Depending how our staff takes care of it and depending on the maintenance program, we should be set for quite a bit of while.
The grader, is it?
That's the one I'm talking
$13,000.
about.
Sounds good.
Is it anything wrong with it?
If you guys want to talk about it now, we can.
No,
If
we'll
not,
talk about that. Okay, I didn't want to hear that, but let's go.
So if we have no other thing, John, any comments, or we going to close this meeting out?
No, I'm gonna talk a little bit about grants, later,
Oh,
like
okay.
what you said. I think it'd be great to look at, there's more money coming down from the feds,
Yeah.
COVID and all that. They're putting more money in these programs, and it'd be great if John could look into that and see what the programs are.
But a lot of times, we have to be ready. We've got to be. We can't say, okay, we're in design, we're in the design phase, but we're getting ready to put a team together. We actually have to be like what they said a few months back, shovel ready projects. And there's a difference between shovel ready and getting a design out. Because firms are pretty busy right now we're not the only client.
Yep.
When I was doing the deal with Matt at John Deere for those 6120s, I did ask him, and they don't do it. They do either 3, 5, or 7. That's it.
Some do.
Yeah.
Some do. But you're going through them, but I'm talking about different institutions,
Right.
like lending institutions. Some people, especially with the COVID, some institutions won't lend hardly anything. They've gotten even stricter and tighter on their, depending on your credit and that kind of stuff. But others are willing to take a chance and, hey, you know what? We know you, boom, 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 we'll. So there's different incentives. It's like buying a vehicle.
Will be way better.
That's how the SBA loan works. The SBA doesn't loan you the money. They back up a bank that has the money, and the SBA tells the bank, if they go belly up, we'll cover you. And then they'll have a longer term. So instead of 7-year financing, you get 20-year financing.
Exactly.
The interest rates, the good part of that is the cost of money, the interest rates are down.
Yes.
So if there's a good time, such a thing as a good time to borrow, it's not.
I agree. I totally agree.
Mr. Boyd?
Yes.
Okay, so you heard the directive from John Fumetto.
Right.
You heard, okay?
Yes.
So you could bring it in whenever you get that information for us. Thank you.
Okay.
Other than that, we can adjourn this meeting unless anybody has anything to say so. We can adjourn this budget meeting and vote on it next month. If we have any questions, John, what's the best way to get the questions to Mr. Boyd? Directly or?
Well, you just call me
Okay.
individually. That's fine.
Okay. Thank you much, Mr. Boyd.
Just so you us the next month Becky, on the next month on the regular board agenda, we'll have the vote on the final budget.
Yes.
No, there won't be another budget workshop. This is the last one. And then we actually vote at the regular meeting on the budget, final budget.
So good. So for the citizens that just came in, is right now we're 10 months into this fiscal year, and Arminio has the budget. Arminio and his team has the budget at 91%, which is 9% underneath the 9% underneath 100, and we have 2 months to go. So we're looking like we're going to break even. And as you can see, driving around in our community, we have accomplished a lot, and you can see by the equipment we have purchased quite a bit as well. So kudos to the staff and to the team for helping us to come in, because I know you have cut back on doing some roads, but we've hit the roads hard for the last 2 years, and we spent almost about $500,000, I would say. So when people say we have not spent money, it's not a true statement. We have spent quite a bit of taxpayers' money on things that they've wanted, things that they asked for. I think we've looked into the land study, and we have tackled everything but one, and we'll talk about that later in our next meeting, but we are tackling the issues and the concerns of the citizens of Montour. Thank you, Mr. Boyd. We're going to take a quick recess, and we'll start this. Go ahead.
Okay.
We'll take a quick recess, and we'll start the next meeting at 7 sharp. Thank you.
Man, my glasses are fogging.
I can't see. I can't see it from over here. I just stay away from y'all. I can't see.
I'm gonna have to go get my automatic.
Every time I breathe.
So we have to get the book all the way up here, and then it won't fog up. Oh, yeah. You put the glasses on top of your,
That's what I do.
that's a bit of.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. They got my glasses down so far, I can't see. I got an event. I'm gonna put a vent under his mind to go down. I'm done with it. Josh's wife. I can't see her. I'm gonna look at her. I can tell. I don't see your finger. I can tell.
Is that a good thing?
Let me try.
I'm gonna put a vent in mine, John. I'm working on. Hey, oh yeah, I mean, you got a piece of PVC? I'm gonna put a vent in mine. You know, crazy. I've heard so many great things about y'all.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
With that being said, Betty, can you do roll call for us, please?
Sure can. District Manager?
Present.
District Attorney?
Here.
Seat 4, Supervisor Miller? Chair, seat 1? You're seat 5, sorry.
Present.
I've been absent for a couple of them.
That's fine, that's fine.
And seat 1,
I don't know who in seat 1 is, but I'm here.
and we have the District Treasurer, John Boy, online, and we also have Mr. Bennett also online.
Good. Thank you for those in the audience. We have a few, and then thank for the ones that are in Zoom. So here, Mr. Famero, do we need to make any adjustments to our meeting agenda or anything like that?
I'm sure, I think we're good to go.
Okay, so with that being said, I wanna hop around a little bit to number 3. If you have a comment, we usually have a card to fill out, but if you have a comment, you can raise your hand, give your address, give your name, and then ask your question. If not, we will proceed on. So anybody out in the audience as well as here have any question? How long does it take for you to get feedback back, Jose? If they have a question?
Do they call you?
You'll see it pop up on the screen if there's a question at the bottom.
They usually have a handful of them.
Yeah.
They'll usually have a handle pop up or something like that. And then he'll unmute.
That's me. That's me.
Okay, so no questions, no questions? Go ahead. Tell us who you are, your address.
My name is
Okay?
I,
Take the rest of the
I can't hear.
We can barely hear you. Mr. Santana.
My name is Juan Carlos Santana.
Yes, sir.
I live in 360 on Palusa Avenue.
Yes, sir.
I really thank you guys are doing a good job. The computer looks a lot better.
Thank you.
When I used to live here, I was in 2000. The roads are really clean. They're good. New roads. And I see the workers in the sector working all the time. They're doing a good job. So I just want to say congratulations to all of you guys for the job you're doing.
It's actually Mr. Herminio and his staff that's doing the excellent job. They're the ones
Thank you.
doing the excellent job, so thank you. We appreciate it because they don't get many compliments, so I appreciate that. But thank you, sir.
It's been an effort. It's not only me and the staff. It's the board is a big part of it. Just keep in mind that I can't do anything if they don't give me the resources to work. So.
And it's hard for him to get resources.
And resources are hard to come by around here, but they've done a great job, I sure.
Thank you, Mr. Santana. Anyone else? No hands up on that side. There's Mr. Brennan. All right, we'll move on. Let's go to approval of meeting agenda. Anybody have any additions, deletions, substitutions of the agenda items? All right.
I do.
Go ahead.
On the approval of the meeting minutes, you're gonna see that you only have May 27 meeting minutes.
Okay.
July 9th and July 22nd. There was a lot of distortion when I was trying to do the minutes.
Understood.
I'm still working on them though. I'm trying to do the best I can with what I have.
So we're gonna try to approve just May 27th meeting, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Can I get approval for only the May 27th meeting of 2020?
So move.
All right. We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor? Aye. Meeting minutes for May 27th is approved.
Why does it say auditors after public comment? Are we gonna have the auditors here today?
We have the book.
No.
We have pretty much the
I
book.
think Mr. Boyd is going to talk.
No, that's been on there, it just needs to be deleted.
Oh.
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Okay, yeah, that auditors has just been hanging out on there for a while, it needs to be deleted. It's not part of that comment.
I think I was told by the manager that this is the first year that we don't have any in the audit report, that everything.
Yeah, negative comments. Mr. Boyd explained it on the last meeting.
I'm very glad to hear that.
Yes.
They were due to present the
They were due to present.
and that's when we had the emergency cancellation. And so they had delivered the audit by virtue of legal and filed timely. But you have some copies of the audit, and but you know they've not been able to present it. It's not required because they gave it to us. If you want to get them to present it at a Zoom meeting or something, I'm sure they probably would.
Good idea.
But basically, I can tell you that the main thing of the audit.
Okay.
And y'all should, but anyway, it's just that we basically, this is the year that ends September 30, 2019. We started the year with $3,290,000. We had a loss of $366,000. And ended the year with $2,920,000. The audit on page 8. And the other thing to continue talking about how management is done and so forth, is there was no management letter comment. So if you want to have them presented at the next Zoom meeting, I mean, I don't know if they charge, by the hour or whether we have a fixed contract with them, but they would probably. I'm sure to do it.
Then
Is that a question or is that somebody
That's a
clapping?
question. I don't think we need it.
where?
It's all right here.
The question is the blue one.
I'm just, I guess what I'm saying is all the legal requirements of the audit have been met.
Yes, sir.
And everything's been sent in to the Auditor General.
Good.
There's nothing really negative about it, but if you want them to do a presentation on Zoom, I'm sure they would if we asked them to.
I think we're good.
Denise?
Yes.
We're-
It's not necessary.
Yeah.
We're fine. Thank you for that, and thank you for everyone involved to get us out of the mess we're in for a little while, and it seems like we're going in the right direction. When is the next audit, Mr. Boyd?
Well, the September 30, 2020 is our next year end. And then it takes several months to get the audit done and all that. But that's the next year end that they'll start auditing probably in January.
And do you expect the same thing? Do you expect the same results?
I don't know of anything that we would be commented on. Hey, yeah, I do. I mean, as far as I know, everything's been complied with as far as the technical things like that. So I don't see any problems.
Okay, thank you. If you do, just let us know.
Okay, it'll be a few months still.
Yes, sir.
We haven't even got to the end of the year yet. Yeah.
It comes fast. Thank you, sir.
Oh, I know.
Okay. Thank you there. With that being said, let's go into our staff reporting. Hermia, manager's report.
I'll be right back.
Okay,
Wait
so
for an emergency.
let's skip that one right quick. Let's go into our engineer's report. Mr. Bennett, thank you for being on. Can you hear us?
Mr. Bennett, are you there?
Mr. Bennett, can you hear us?
Hello.
Yeah, not very well.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes,
The floor is yours.
okay. We talked about the grant application that we've got going, and I think Mr. Romero will talk about an interlocal agreement with Henry County to manage that grant later on, but
Okay.
we had a telephone conference with the county and the grant managers today, and tomorrow there'll be another telephone conference with the actual state agency that administers the grant, and we should get a fairly good idea then what they think of our application. And they did say that if it's favorable, that the grant would probably be approved sometime in late January. That's the grant that we applied for the new pump station and new culverts at the ends of the roads, and rehabbing 3 pump stations, and replacing some of the canal culverts that go under the roads. It was like $1.6 million, I think. So that's still ongoing.
Mr. Chairman.
Clubhouse, we got, I think you got in your packages 2 proposals from 2 different contractors. We had a third one that was supposed to have gotten the contract, gotten a price to us, and it never did come in. So the only 2 we got was from Clyde Johnson and from Superior Contracting out of Clewiston.
Hey, Larry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Larry, is for those grants, the 1.6 million, is there a cost share requirement?
Yes. I don't believe so.
So it's 100%.
It's a CDBG type project, and the county will actually administer it. I don't think the money will actually even come through the district at all. It'll go to the county, but it'll be for those projects that I mentioned.
Okay.
Because some of these require,
Are you gonna talk about this? Cause I have a few questions.
Yeah.
Just to, I wanna be transparent and honest here. Because maybe it's better when you do, cause you're gonna talk about the agreement. I wanna talk about that agreement a little bit. Okay, anything else, Mr. Bennett?
So do I.
I don't have anything else. Just the last thing that was on the report was that, Herminio and the crew did get that ditch cleared and cleaned out that's, in the Woodlands 2 subdivision. And, so I just wanted to report on that. It looks really good.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Mr. Bennett? I have one, maybe two. Anybody have a question?
Yes. Mr. Bennett, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I can.
I see here the 2 quotes that you got for the air conditioner. I don't see any quote for for the wall. Did you get a quote for the wall, the accordion wall for that area?
Yes, that includes that.
Yeah,
There's
Both of them includes, the one from Clyde Johnson and the Superior includes a wall?
Yes.
I'm asking you that because this is the first time I see this. I haven't had
It
a
says right
time.
here, it's the third bullet. Carpentry soffit to be modified to install accordion door units.
Okay, hold on.
Right here.
I don't have
The
that.
quotes include putting in the accordion wall,
Right there.
putting in insulation, redoing the electrical work.
Third bullet.
Now you've got 2 prices there. One is for an air conditioner that has a very high efficiency rating, a 22 SEER.
There you go.
The next price we asked them to give us was with a 13 SEER, which is more like a standard
Yes, sir.
air conditioning system. So it was like 12, about $1,300 cheaper if we went with that.
But how much
But,
power?
yes, that includes the accordion type door, insulation,
Third and the fourth bullet.
electrical work, everything.
Okay, I don't have that paper. I have this from the meeting. Hold on a minute.
This one?
Yeah, this one's dry here, boy.
It's bullet 3 and 4. Talks about the accordion. Both of them have it.
So the Clyde one and this one includes the wall, the accordion wall. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
When you inspected the clubhouse,
Yeah.
how much do you project if you got to look at what I'm gonna ask you for? The insulation problem of the clubhouse with air conditioning or with heating. Is that a major problem? Does that have to be addressed before we put the air conditioning in? Or should it be?
If you were to insulate the entire clubhouse, you would need to do some insulation work. Some of the walls don't have air conditioning. I think there is air conditioning under the roof. There's some rigid insulation under there. I'm not sure how much it is. I think it's just a layer of rigid insulation. Of course, there's no insulation at the very peak of the roof where the glass is.
Right. Maybe
but
we
there
could
is
put
some,
a film on the
that would
glass.
have to be put in the wall.
It may not even reach that, that air conditioner may not even reach that glass. I was just on the land lift,
Doing some work for someone not too long ago in a 60-foot structure. You get up 30 feet, it's hot. It doesn't go up there, it doesn't matter. It's from there down.
So should we have a drop roof? Is that what you're saying? We should have a drop roof in that area? Or just leave it at that and leave it at
I
its...
thought we were gonna put a drop ceiling in. Wasn't that what we were gonna do, petition off an area.
That already has a drop.
Drop seat and put a,
The area that we are talking about, the one that I said, let's do that first, has already a dropped ceiling.
beautiful.
Okay, but now, the problem is, Benny, that when I look at the figures, I wonder if it's worth it for the difference of doing the entire area for the price that they're giving us and start phase one just with that area first.
I haven't seen any numbers, I don't have it here, so.
I could hardly see these numbers.
20, I'm looking at 20 something, and then Clyde.
23?
20, I was looking at 23.
And 24.
That's for the first part of it.
Right. And Clyde, I believe tell me if I'm correct, Mr. Bennett. One of them is for the entire, one quote is for the entire area of the clubhouse, and the other quote that I got first, that you talked about, is just for that partition that already has a drop ceiling on it. Am I correct?
The estimate for the entire clubhouse, it was $36,000.
Okay, that's the paper I have at home.
Right, now, if you guys talking about the whole clubhouse, 6 years ago, me and the other Flaco, Juan, we bring up to the code the entire walls in the clubhouse. So the walls in the clubhouse are completely done. Insulation, everything is done.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Good.
Yes. The only problem with the insulation now on the clubhouse for the entire clubhouse will be
The roof.
the roof.
Okay.
I'm not so
All
sure
right.
it don't matter, honestly.
Does it make sense? Let's discuss it so we can vote on this, please. Does it make sense to spend $34,000?
Let's keep in mind that the estimates that you got in hand, especially the 36,000, it doesn't include third parties, which means you gotta pay engineer, whatever.
Engineer fees,
Yes.
architect fees.
And
Yes.
these do?
No.
Just for,
None of them do.
just for the job, that's just for the work.
Okay, and
So again,
what are we looking at?
So what you're gonna have to do is, like for instance, Mr. Ben is an architect, right? He has an architect firm, so you're gonna have to get an architect to make a design. Gotta go before the county, pay some permits,
I
and
thought
make it
that's
happen.
what he was doing.
But the thing is, now you're talking about, when you start doing stuff and making stuff and drop ceilings and all that kind of stuff, that causes permits to be pulled and codes to be met.
You gotta bring everything
Alright,
that has to do with that.
Just be careful, because you might be asking for something
Right.
that is gonna go over the top.
but if we, from the beginning I said, you know the area I want you to do first, okay? That's the area that has the drop ceiling when you go into the clubhouse to your right.
Yep.
Another area that could be done just like that is the one right next to the office, which has a space and a room. Or we could continue where the library was. And there is another room next to the library, make that another conference room.
Okay.
And then leave the other area as is with just air conditioning to go up to 30 feet. He says at 30 feet it still works.
What I've seen.
And not spend the money on anything else.
So
Does that make sense to you?
here's what most people do, Denise, so let me just give you, most people, we don't have to do it out here, and I'll get you guys this question here in a minute. What most people do is, like for instance, when you do a remodeling, you ask for a designer to give you some plans so you can have something to look at, you know what I'm saying? But if we're gonna do it off our head, off our memory, off our dome, we're all gonna be arguing, oh, I thought you were gonna do this, I assumed you were gonna do that. So a lot of times, if you wanna remodel the whole class, I'm fine with it, but it's usually best to have somebody draw you out a nice set of plans, and then you pick it in phases, what you would like to do.
So do we go forward with that?
It's
Taking into account that we could still go with these people and get the air conditioner, but we have now an engineer that will tell us.
You can always do that. I just want you to know this is probably going, because of the funding, it's probably going to be a phased approach. And then on every phase, you have to, like what we're doing now, we're going to have to start bringing all these things into code. Everything that we're doing, we're going to have to bring it into compliance. NEC for the electrical, the mechanical.
I thought that he did that already with the box, the electrical box and all that.
What Mata is trying to say is, for example, on your AC, in order for us or for Larry to make it happen with the AC, you cannot just go there and connect your AC to the electrical box that we got there now.
Right.
You have to bring all the paneling up to code.
That's what he was supposed to have done, given us.
No. All that was included on the estimate. It's a whole package.
All right, so
Okay.
if we
It's
do
a whole
that,
package.
if we do this,
It's
this is
included.
gonna take care of everything for that side.
For that spot, yes.
For that side,
For
which
that
is what we
spot.
talked about in the first
Right.
place. So let's roll,
Well,
and then we'll look at the rest later. I don't, is there any savings in doing it all at one time? I don't see it.
well, from 36,000, right? From
Keep-
Clyde,
Keep in mind that it's not only 36, you
Yeah.
still gotta pay third parties.
And there's a lot of stuff that comes with that.
And not only that, hold on one second, and not only that, we have those doors, if you notice, there's like a,
Yes.
there's,
Right.
again, so we have the AC on, I'm just being honest, say for instance, we have the AC on. That AC, I think most of us know, it's gonna run forever, because the air's gonna leave.
well, those doors would have been fixed before we put the general AC on.
No, you have to literally, it's a commercial place, so you have to go and buy $8,000 doors, sliding doors.
It gets expensive.
You know,
It-
the
it's-
price is between 5 to 8, because I look at it. You know, sliding
doors?
doors, yes.
For the main entrance?
For every single,
entrance?
in the clubhouse, you got 4 main entries
Right.
and 4 exit
Right,
by the fire department. So every single door it has to be changed.
has to be replaced.
So all you have to do, Denise, to be honest with you, what I don't want us to do is, we spend good, our hard-earned money, and then, hey,
Of course.
we're wrong. So it'd be good, like, for instance, Mr. Bennett has an architect firm, hey, can you get us a set of drawings, bring it up to code, let us look at it, let us chip it out. Oh, sorry, let us look at it, let us critique it, we don't like this, we like that, we like the other, and then we shoot it back. If that's what you guys, if that's what the board wants to do, I'm not against it, it does need a facelift, it's been there for 40-plus years,
And we do the air conditioning.
but I just want you to let you know, it's not gonna be at a cheap price, it's not gonna be inexpensive, but it can be done in a phased approach.
Yes.
Hold on one second, we have a few in front of you, but yes.
Okay,
Anything else?
So,
when it comes to that, no, but I would like to see it move on.
I got a question. So what is the holdup on this first phase? I'll call this the first phase.
The
Everything's
whole
ready to
component
go?
was
Or-
money. I thought that it was gonna be,
Well-
from what I saw from Clyde Johnson, the one that was $33,000 for the entire thing,
Yeah.
was cheaper than
Right.
doing 22 for just that area.
Right, but there's a lot of stuff. That 33 is gonna turn into 53 like this. 60,
Okay,
that's the
so,
problem.
so then the 23 here includes everything.
And that's what I'm asking. 23 here is everything ready to go. No, hidden charges, no surprises. Hello.
Mr. Bennett, the question's for you, sir.
Mr. Bennett, can you hear me? This thing works 1 minute, on the next. Mr. Bennett, hello.
He's trying. I think he might be on mute. Mr. Bennett, can you hear us?
Well, we don't
Yeah,
get again.
yeah.
We don't get rid of this junk.
Did you hear, Mr. Alvarez's question?
The
No, I
prices
didn't.
that we have, does that include everything? We're ready to go to get it done. It's done. There's no more hidden charges. Or is there other charges that go with what we have here?
No, this includes everything to fix that little room up, but it also, I wanted to remind you that we really can't do anything in that clubhouse until we do something with the electrical system.
Correct.
And that's included in these prices, but I had asked them to itemize those electrical prices and they didn't do it. So I've got them working on that. So I should have the electrical prices itemized out of that in case you just wanted to do the electrical, because you couldn't air condition it or do anything until you get that electrical panel upgraded and because it's a fire hazard and everything else right now. So
Makes sense.
but yeah, these prices include the electrical and the accordion door and the insulation and
Everything's done.
everything that was asked for and making that meeting room.
Right.
But we could do part of it and just do the electrical if you wanted to do that now and then look at the air conditioning of the entire thing later. But I would recommend you at least do the electrical.
Why don't we just do if the electrical and that phase is there, the $20 whatever $1,000 is gonna take care of the area we talked about.
Nothing else is gonna be added later, that's gonna do it all. Why don't we push on and do it? If we're gonna do it, we need to do it. We have beat around with this and beat around with this.
The main problem with the electrical parts, I don't know if you guys have seen it. Okay, I've been in the clubhouse for.
It's over.
Yeah, but it's in there, right?
Yes, it is. But, so you guys understand why Bennett and me putting so much stuff on the electrical problem is
Right.
because the clubhouse, believe it or not, do not has switches.
Yeah, probably them old plugs.
Starting from that. So if you're gonna turn the lights on at the clubhouse, you gotta go physically to the panel
Right,
and turn on the breaker.
right,
And that's with every single light bulb in the clubhouse.
right. But everything that has to be, my concern is that everything is right there. If it is,
Yes.
I don't know what we're waiting on, let's roll.
Yes.
I don't want later that we gotta put engineering fees and we gotta put
I
this,
just-
but that's it, right?
Danny, I just realized, we haven't even mentioned the generator.
Well, not yet.
The panel, we need a panel for the generator too,
We
right?
have a transfer switch.
A transfer switch?
That's the goal.
Yes,
We should
you
put
are
it
right
back
one,
too.
but again, one thing goes with the other one, that's what Juan was explaining. In order for us to put a transfer switch, we need to do the electrical problems in the clubhouse.
And the other thing, and I wanna be honest with you guys, is whatever decision we make, we can't be like, oh, next month, let's do something else. You know what I'm saying?
No,
So, if we're gonna do something, it's best to have a design, we look at it, we agree on it, and we settle it, and then we move forward. Because if us doing, hey, well, now we need to do another AC, that kind of stuff, it gets it very confusing, and the money that we were gonna save just cost us more money.
I just didn't want to pass up an opportunity where we could save money.
I understand.
That's the only reason why I'm questioning it.
So we're waiting on,
I'm not against an agreement, I'm just saying, it's best, if we're gonna do something like that, it's best to get a design. Because now we're doing an overhaul, complete overhaul.
Right.
It's best to get a design, us look at it, agree to it, and then say, okay.
So you're saying don't do this yet, this part?
No, we can do it, like Benny said, we can do it in phases, but if you wanna bring the ceiling down,
No.
and make rooms and just rearrange it, you need a good design. And then we can agree with it, and it's like, just say for instance, give me an engineer's estimated cost. Mr. Marquez, the board is gonna estimate at $150,000. Then we can say, okay, we can do this budget, next phase, and so on. So it's a phased approach. Unless we hit the budget hard.
I wanna clarify something. We don't have $150,000 to spend.
I'm just throwing it
No,
out.
I know. I'm still, do we need drawings for this phase, or is this pretty well, this is
pretty
done?
much done.
Okay,
He's
so,
just giving us quotes.
so,
Are we okay with 2 out of 3 quotes as a board?
that's all, y'all, we've always had trouble getting people to come out here and give us prices,
I
so.
agree.
Well, you can't run around and beg them, we got 2 quotes, we gotta go with
I agree.
the best one. $1,300 for a 22 seer, we need to see what the savings in electricity, they may well be worth it.
Gotcha. All right, before, just so think on that. Patty, could you stand and give us your name and address? Hold on 1 second.
That's one of them.
Your name and address, brother?
Rolly Gonzalez, 825 North Korea.
Yes, sir.
See, I moved out here to Montura because it was rural. It's real nice. I know you guys want to go ahead and give an uplift to the clubhouse. I have visited the clubhouse. In the past couple of days, I've been there twice. Actually, Monday I was there early in the morning, and I was there this afternoon as well. If we want to keep it rural, I don't understand why we're gonna spend all this money in AC unit into that clubhouse when it looks rural, it looks real nice right now. Yes, it needs an uplift, but why are we gonna spend the money that we still need fixing out here? We're still in 1990s, okay? That we have more opportunities to get fixed out there than putting AC into the clubhouse. What is the benefit that we're gonna have? Okay, what is the benefit that we're gonna have
For sure.
adding AC to the clubhouse? Okay, and removing the rural look, the beautiful look that is posted on every social media out there, making this place Montura Ranch Estates. Now, with that being said, Benny,
you have a very good point, and that's why you're questioning this on a point. It's just like the car. When you take it to a body shop, and they're gonna give you an estimate, you're gonna get it fixed. Then, you're gonna come back and say you have assessments on it as well, okay? And we have supplements, okay? Because once you start breaking down, you start finding supplements and say, oh, no, we got this situation here and this situation. So your $100,000 project could turn into $200,000 project,
And that's what
okay?
I'm.
And that's one of the reasons that when you come down to construction, it's very delicate when we make those type of decisions. Because at the end of the day, it's not my money that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the community's money. So again, the benefit, I would like to know as a citizen, what will be the benefit to put an AC in there and spend all that kind of money? Thank you.
The benefit will be that I don't know of any public building in the United States of America that doesn't have air conditioning living in the South. Number one. I don't know of any. Do you know of any? I don't know of any.
I would say they're rare.
We are not going to take away the look of the clubhouse. Okay? We're just adding air conditioning to the clubhouse. The benefit is for the residents of this area, for our community. Senior citizens cannot be there taking, let's say, a craft class, a health class. During the hurricane, they used that area for taking down information, and it was about 96 degrees in there. The reason why you say that is because you probably haven't been there more than half an hour in that building. We had dance classes with no air conditioning that came in from, teachers came in from Coulson to give dance classes. We had a teacher give summer school classes for the children, no air conditioning. We have to program the summer program so the children are out of that building early enough to go to the swimming pool because of the heat in that building. I cannot see going another year without having an area of that building at least air conditioned. Just because they did not air condition it when they made that building doesn't mean that we in 2020 have to still have that building without air conditioning. I'm thinking of the residents. I want to see dance classes. I want to see crafts. I want to see exhibits, art exhibits of our people in that area. You're going to rent it as a community place to have a wedding, birthday parties. How can you? Do you know of any place? Rolly, do you know of any place in the United States without air conditioning? A public building?
I have not visited all of them in the United States.
Those that you have visited, have you been to a building in Kendall or in Miami, wherever you lived before here, that was public and did not have air conditioning?
You're talking about big city. We're rural, the issue. Okay, I don't want to.
Harlem?
Hold on, we don't, it's not a debate back and forth.
It's not a debate.
I'm not changing the structure of the building.
Denise has the floor. Let's not go back and forth, Denise.
The structure of the building is not going to be changed. You're going to add an air conditioner that is on the outside that is this big. Okay? You're not taking anything away from it. This is a rural community. And I'm not taking away anything from you all, but there are some people or anybody. We have a conference and we have a room there that we could use. And I'm using the air conditioner in that room only, not the entire area of the clubhouse. And that is the reason why I think that we should have it.
I would like to say something.
Go ahead.
Yes.
Let me tell you something, Rolly. Rule, you're talking to the king of rule. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, there's too many people out here now. We're paving too many roads. This is not rule anymore.
No, I think it's somebody's.
So let me tell you, you hit home with me right there. I don't care for growth. I don't like all this growth. However, and I have struggled with that air conditioner a lot. Because we're not going to change the look of the clubhouse. But she said a lot that makes a lot of sense. You know, we got to do stuff for the kids, the adults. I can remember us trying to, people were going to use to play dominoes. I remember a group, many times, and after about 2 times, it's too hot in there. Over the years, I'm talking back 15 years ago, I don't know how many times we've had people want the clubhouse to do this and that and the other with it, and they give it back quickly because of how hot it was. So I half-heartedly, and I'll tell you, money's tight. We got to be careful where we spend it. And then they brought up the hurricane. Hurricanes. They distribute food, so on and so forth. I don't believe I'm not sure that I want to do the whole place. But what we have now, that's why you see me asking. I know what we talked about, that little area, and you can do a lot with that little area. And I'd say no more money than we have is probably a good idea for what we're trying to accomplish. Do we want to continue and do the whole thing? I'm not sure that I'm for that. There's going to be I don't know how you convince me. Electric bill is going to be out of this world, but I do agree that we do need to put some AC in part of that, and that's after much debate. We've talked about this for a long time. When we went to that area, I thought, okay, I'll go with that, but not the whole clubhouse. And I'm just being as upfront as I can be.
And I want to go ahead and be clear on that. I totally agree with that. Having sections is fine, but going on a budget. You guys have a budget, okay?
Yes, sir.
You're going to be coming into supplements after that, okay? But again, as you mentioned as well, if we put drop ceilings in the middle, okay? If we drop ceilings in the middle, that AC ain't going to reach up there and we're going to continue being hot all day. But yes, it's a great idea to have certain sections on the inside for AC. What you're doing whatsoever, that's fine. But you have to look at the entire project and look at the supplements. It's not as it's not as 1, 2, 3, 30,000 or 40. It's a lot of money. You guys need to look into that.
Well, that's why I've asked 3 times. Is this everything included? And the way I understand it, short of the box for the generator.
And use this one for the record, Becky, because I'm going to be quoted. I think a lot of you, well, some don't know, but I've spent quite a bit of time, Herminio, at the clubhouse, many a Saturdays, many a times, and I sweated my butt off. And I've seen young men like these and other young kids in there sweating their butt off. And the parents would go home, and the last summer camp, I don't know how they did it. It was unbearable. And I felt bad, I felt sad, and I felt very disappointed as a member of our community and as a board member to see our kids living in them kind of conditions. So as Denise said, I would do anything and everything to put as much AC, Benny, as possible, because I go to the clubhouse. My grandson will go to the clubhouse in the future, but I want to see progress there. We need it. I've had many people complain, we can't have a function there. It's a beautiful building, as you said, but we can't do any kind of function there because it's way too hot. Correct, Remedial? Most of our functions have to be after dark. John, I remember the last landowners meeting, your shirt armpits were here. Our landowners meeting will be at that clubhouse, and we won't have AC, and it will be hot as a mother. We'll have to endure. Some might even pass out. It gets that hot in there. So again, we are in 2020. We do need to upgrade it. And the good thing, one of the benefits is our community can use that at a decent rate to have a birthday party, a Sweet 15, a kids party or something. And again, the employees have to deal with that sun as well, and it's pretty unbearable, even with all the doors open during the summer. So, Patty, did you have a question? Thank you for that.
I just want to reiterate this. Just imagine this room right here with no air conditioning. I bet you nobody will come.
Well, I'm gonna say something. I grew up without air conditioning when I was young, but
thank God I didn't grow up in those times with Moses. Mr. Santana, you had a question?
Thank you. I have something I want to say. In regard with the AC for the clubhouse, I agree with the AC. We need AC in the clubhouse because it's really hot there. Summertime, last year, I used to take my grandson out there to the pool and I spent time.
Yes, sir.
Inside the clubhouse because I don't want to get too much sun out there.
Yes, sir.
It was really hot, and I don't know if it was hotter out there or inside the clubhouse. It's really hot there. I just want to mention this, okay? With all respect to you, the supervisors, and the president here. Arnold Hernandez, he applied for a position as a in the clubhouse. He's a certified AC technician. I don't know if rules and regulations here. If an employee, if he's hired, if he can work, do a lot of work in the AC system as a guard.
We usually frown against that. Because most, we'll speak about it later, but most usually it's a conflict of interest, and a lot of people, it's frowned upon because there's a liability. What if he gets hit? You know, we should have got a licensed contractor. It's usually frowned upon in most businesses.
He's a certified AC technician. I mean,
Right.
if he's an employee from Central County,
Yes, sir.
I believe.
But then we would say, Mr. Santana, what is a certified AC technician working at a clubhouse? Why isn't he working in his line of business?
Because he need a job. He don't have a job.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
I mean, I just making an observation.
No, I
If
agree.
you can do it legally, fine.
Yes, sir.
Talking about the installation, maybe he can do the installation.
See,
We have somebody else.
the biggest problem with doing that kind of stuff, so I'm just going to shed some light. Say, for instance, this gentleman's hired, he's a licensed electrician. Look, you got Mr., I hate to use slang words, but look, you have this guy doing this stuff on the side when you should have a certified, business company. We're literally, honestly, we're a business, and we have to function as a business.
Mr. Fumar is the lawyer.
Yes.
I don't know the legal hospital.
Mr. Santana, we had that problem before. Jose was brought up. Jose right there.
Great skill set.
And he licensed and everything. And under his suggestion, we did not use him.
That was different.
Different.
That was
That was different.
That's a different scenario.
We have, I don't know if it was that, but
It was.
we had somebody who was an employee and he said, oh, on the weekends and at night, for money, I will do this extra work. That's a problem. No, I think he's saying if he works for Central County, he'll do whatever he's asked to do.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
Right. That was hiring an employee again to do that's not,
Yes.
this is a little different.
So, let me.
Go ahead, Mr. Santana, you can finish.
No, that's what I'm saying. If he's hired, he will be hired, and he's gonna be with maintenance in the clubhouse. I believe that's part of the maintenance. With maintenance.
I see it a little bit differently, but I appreciate that. Yeah, I see it a little bit differently because a man usually wants to get paid in his craft. But I see things a little bit differently, and also we have to look at the other bigger picture of liability. And then when we do stuff like that, we have a outspoken community that is always, they put their 2 cents on and they'll spin certain things and they'll say, oh, look, they hired that gentleman and he's doing that stuff on the side. That's why we try to do things as ethical as possible. I'm not saying it's not unethical because we definitely use our lawyers' advice, but we try to be as ethical and to use the businesses that we have. If we can save money in-house, that's a great thing as well.
I don't say do the job inside as part of the job as a maintenance.
Yes, sir.
Clubhouse, that would be part of the job proposition.
May I explain something to Santana?
Yes, sir, because we got to move on. Yes.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I've been on both sides of the line. I've been employee for some time, and I've been supervisor or manager for a long time. When I'm on the employee side, I'm the kind of person that even if I'm not electrical certified, I can still do electrical work. But that's me on that side. Now, when I'm a manager side, because of the liability, I will not allow any employee to do nothing that has to do with AC. Because, first of all, the job description is not included. That means the liability will not cover if something happens. So, on my part as a manager, the employees will do some maintenance work. Toilet, you change out light, fan. But when you're talking about major work, as a manager, I will go with a contractor, not with an employee. And what they were talking about Jose is a certified AC. Now,
We have that person in-house.
yes, Benny suggested that if the board would agree at that moment, For him to do it, he will have to take a week or leave also, so he can do it under his insurance, not working on the central county. Do you understand what's the difference?
I understand.
I got a quick one.
All right.
And
It's a good question, though.
nothing against the guy you have, but we have a guy there that works for us. If anybody's gonna get it that way, it should be him. You know, he's here, he's with us, he's been with us. That's what I'm saying. If we're gonna do it that way, he would be the man to do it. You can't, you just slap him in the face if you go, the guy that's with us, nothing against your guy. This guy's with us, I don't know how long he's been here.
He's been with us for a year and something, and he's a great employee.
Okay, and you got a great guy that's been here for a year and a half. You're just gonna say, the heck with you, that's, I can't do that.
Yeah, but Mr. Santana doesn't know that.
I just want to mention,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alvarez, no respect to you, it's not my guy. I was making yesterday.
Well,
Suggestion.
yeah.
To save some money. If he can do it and save money for the county,
Right.
it's beautiful.
So I want to show you, we have that qualification already,
Excellent.
and it's a great idea, but the way our administration, the way our boards think it is, we have to be wise, because again, we just have to be wise and look at the whole picture.
Thank you.
But I do understand your point.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
All right, one more question. We're ready to go. This is ready to go. No, nothing later. Good to go, correct?
Mr. Bennett?
Are you there? Are you there?
Which one?
Benny, are you talking about for the entire project?
What we talked about, on the side, on the
Yes.
right-hand side,
Right,
everything's ready to go. We don't, no, nothing else coming later.
right, but you guys were talking about separating to do the paneling first, and then to...
No, the electrical work's in that money. It's done.
Right, okay,
The electrical's in here. It says
Let's do it.
existing electrical panel to be upgraded and replaced.
okay.
So which one do we do?
So, which is which? The 22 series?
He's talking about the, what you presented to the board, to AC that spot.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you're,
We just got this today.
Yeah.
The one that
that's the problem.
gave us. Is there any way that we could approve this and then select? You would call each one of us and we select which one, because this was just given to us.
What is the difference? I mean, both.
One is 22.
One's 13 SEER, one's a 22 SEER.
We'll go with the 22 series.
Yes, that's what Mr. Benny was saying, that
Yeah.
22 series.
But where's the price on the Superior?
You get, yeah.
They're there, Juan.
I'm looking at it, honey. I don't see it yet for Superior.
It's here. They're 25,000.
I don't see
And
it.
the other one is,
22 and one is 24.
Here.
so you get, well, it's actually $3,000 for,
Unless I missed, I'm sorry. Oh, 22. So one's 22.5,
25 is the 22 series.
25, and that's 22 SEER.
So it's actually not $1,600, it's $3,000. All right, now we get to the brass tacks. Yeah. With all that being said, I move that we go with the 22 SEER and let's do it. If we're gonna do it, let's do it. And that's it. From here on
So
out.
we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes to install the 22 SEER quote for $24,300 for Clyde Johnson. So can we make that happen? Yes, sir.
Quick.
All right. So hold on. We're gonna, yeah,
Generator?
just remember,
Well, yeah, if you guys want to talk about the generator, you can go ahead and...
We're almost done with hurricane season, can we wait?
so
Oh, you never know.
go ahead. So Herminio, what else was on yours?
Mr. Bennett, are we finished with Mr. Bennett?
Yes, I believe we are.
Bennett.
Mr. Bennett.
Anything else, Mr. Bennett?
Yeah,
Anything else?
no, that's all.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett. So I'm gonna put that down. Excuse me, I'm writing a few things. So go ahead, Mr. Herminio, can you give us your district manager's report?
Yes, sir.
Before you start,
Yes.
we got $24,000, we got to make it up somewhere. So just get in that state of mind.
Okay,
I want it back
no problem.
somehow.
I get it from the contingency.
Well, no. I want to lock that one down too, so let's roll. I want it back, let's go.
Well, you don't know if you're gonna have a summer program or not.
We didn't have one this year. Did you have that allotted already for this year?
That's not gonna fall into this budget, that's gonna fall into next week.
Let's move on. When we get our chance as board members, we'll speak. Go ahead. Or we have questions from Mr. Herminian. Go ahead.
Alright, so, we are grading as much as we can with the rain. Do you guys wanna talk about the grader now or at the end?
You can give your
We're
report
on the
first.
subject.
Go get, let him
We're
give
on
his
the
report
subject?
first.
Yeah.
Let him give his report first,
Oh, okay.
please.
We mowing, we still are mowing, every day as much as we can with the rain.
Yes.
We're not mowing all the way to the fence line because some of the ditches are really wet and the grass is not that really high next to the fences, so we don't want to mess up the ditch. We're still cleaning ditches at the end of the canals, and at the same time we're taking notes of all the cover caving, so when we start the new budget we can do another
Replace them.
50 or 60 of them.
Okay.
We're still picking up trash around on Montura, especially tire. That's been the main thing on this month. We are doing a lot of cutting and trimming with the boom mower. As you guys noticed, we're already done with Hacienda. We are more than halfway with the kennel, and right after kennel we're gonna jump into Myro, and then we're gonna tackle Dale. After that, so you guys know, we're gonna get every single avenue and go all the way down. It'll take a little time because, like, you know, with our, depending on how much we can get through this season, I want to start doing roads as soon as we get into the new budget, and it's going to be tight because our boom mower operator is also our dump truck driver, and it gets kind of complicated. So we might slow down a little bit on the trimming to do more roads, and you know, we take it depending on the priority.
Okay.
You need to get you another guy that can do both. Go ahead.
If you guys want to go for it,
No, go ahead.
I'll get another heavy equipment operator.
Not hire another, I didn't say hire another, I said find another one that can do both, that you already have.
Oh, we do have.
Oh, okay.
We do have. We're still finding signs shoot by shotguns. We got.
It's not gonna change.
Yeah, it's not gonna change.
Go ahead.
At the clubhouse, regular maintenance is done. We opened this week, as you guys know, for the school. Nobody has gone to the clubhouse. That's
To this day?
yes, but we did our part. It's open
Yes.
for the school, for the Wi-Fi, and
And nobody's taking advantage of it yet?
no.
Okay, so
No, no,
let's keep going, hold on.
Okay.
Let him finish his report, please. Then we'll bombard him.
Bennett and me, we are planning to get together in 2 weeks to see if we can tackle the pool room. We've been talking about it for the
Yes.
last, and we're gonna see how we can do that without spending so much money. Maybe there's still time to keep repairing a little more until
Next year.
something like that.
Okay.
We did run into a problem with the pump, the big pool. We're getting back the water to normal, but it was off for like 3 days. And with the rain and no pumping, no recycling, the water went
Yeah, green.
kind of green. Yes. It's getting back. So
Shocking the chlorine.
a lot of chlorine and chalk. Yes,
Shocking the
that's correct.
I want to rent the club pool for the night venture.
Is that for?
That's none of your business.
It doesn't matter. It's an event, right?
It's an event, that's right.
That's it.
No air conditioning.
No comment.
Okay, the grader.
Okay.
Take a deep breath.
Yes. I spoke about the grader before.
Yeah.
We got to the point where we cannot hold the cylinders anymore. We repaired the cylinders before, but the grader is really old.
What cylinders?
The driving shifting cylinders.
Okay.
And I don't know how they call it, but the one that bring the blades down,
Yes.
up and down, they're really long. Okay, the driving shifting cylinders, which is both of them, are leaking really bad right now. After being repaired, the problem is that you can repair the cylinder as much as you want, it's still the same cylinder. So it has scratches and with the sun, all that. So I got no choice but to buy new ones.
How much are they? I know they're not cheap.
They're about 2,200 each.
Oh, roll it.
Yes.
Thank you.
So you have,
That grader's gonna make about 10
Well,
more.
the other two are about 3,400 each.
it's not bad.
All right, now here's the bad thing. The last couple of weeks, the transmission is acting crazy.
Ooh, that's gonna be expensive. I know
And
that.
let's keep in mind that that grader,
What name brand is it?
I'm sorry,
What name brand?
is a cat,
It's a cat. You're talking.
120 M, yes. Now, a few years back, not a few years, but like 5 years, I would say, Central County spent $57,000 on that transmission.
Okay.
And it's acting up again.
Is it under warranty?
So can you
There is no warranty on that.
can you reach out to CAT since they're right there in Crystal? If you don't have a contact, I definitely have some contacts to see what they'll do to
No, we have,
bring it up to speed for us, so we can have something to compare.
yes sir, we're gonna have to bring a
Did you ask what a new grader costs?
technician, you don't wanna know
No,
about that.
I know what it costs. I'm asking
Yeah.
you, do you know what it costs?
Yes,
So-
the new model, because what we have is auto service.
Right.
They don't do that anymore.
Yeah.
The cheapest model is like $254,000.
And that's pretty good, because
Yes.
I've seen them beating on.
Well, that's with the government
Yeah.
discount
Yeah.
and all that.
That's why,
That's the cheapest
that's why
one.
you can buy cylinders and the transmission.
Yes.
If the motor's got 13,000 hours on it,
Yes.
I don't blink at stuff like that.
a cat engine will,
So what's the business we're in?
No, the engine is fine.
well, but 13,000 is usually, you're there,
Yes.
but you can probably get 20 out of a cat engine.
Well, but remember, 13,000 hours go through the entire equipment, so it's 13,000 hours.
That's the whole piece of.
Well, what worries me is engine and transmission is most expensive. Well,
What
the
year is it?
turntable's all right on it?
The what?
The turntable,
Where the blade sits, it's got a thing.
That's the two cylinders that I was talking
Right, that's
about.
up, yeah, I'm talking about this way.
No, that is fine.
What year is that grader, brother?
That grader is, I think it's 2005, Becky? 2005, yes.
15 years.
120 M. That's the model.
120.
So if you can, get us some quotes, and also if you can, get a hold of Mr. Boyd, he can help you. If not, I have some contacts as well, so we can get some institutions to see. First, we want to see what it's worth. I'd like to see what it's worth, what it's going to cost to rebuild it if we had to rebuild it, and then also have a good price, and then also have some good numbers for us for the next meeting to say these. Again, I don't want to vote with just seeing the stuff in 2 seconds.
No.
If you want to get the stuff to us like 2 weeks ahead of time, that's great. So we can look it over and ask questions.
I did make a call, and the guy said they can't give me any estimate on a transmission that they don't. Yes,
Yeah,
that's what the problem is.
worst case scenario, I want a number, yeah, tell them,
And maybe I need to call them, 'cause I do business with them. Yeah, that's an open book to kill you. I can't give you
Well,
a price.
that's what happened the last time. The grader went to Fort Myers and the transmission ended up in Miami. So I don't know how did that happen, but.
Yeah, so just give us as much quotes, as much
Right.
information as possible.
Yeah, we can
I'm a
do
man
that.
of data. Give me as much data as possible. Give it Mr. Boyd. I want to see loans at what percent, how many years, the whole kit and caboodle. If you can get that to us by next meeting, would be great.
Yes,
You
sir.
can probably
We
buy
can
one
do
and
that.
finance it for 40 years.
And if worst comes to worst, if it does go down, just lease something for a month until you can get to us.
Yes, sir.
And that ain't gonna be cheap either.
No,
No.
but this is the business that we're in, right?
No, it is. We rent 4 every year, so I
This is the business that we're in right now.
Right. The other part is we've been working with Treble, which is a company for
Oh, you're talking about the Trimble units?
the Trimble unit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
okay. How's that going or not going?
It's not working yet.
Okay.
So the guy asked me to give him a last opportunity on next Monday, Orland.
Go ahead, Jim.
So they're gonna come back on next Monday and see if they can make it work for what we need.
Okay.
And the idea for that is to work on the swells project. If it does, it will be fine. So far, they haven't been able to make it work. So,
Understood.
you know, it would go with what we need. Some months ago, I would say it was like a year, I bring to you guys this beauty paper over here. This paper is, just so you guys remember, when we were talking about the master plan and woodland project and all that, Becky, Mr. Bennett and me put this paper together with a lot of numbers on it. This is the swell project done in-house in a term of 15.73 years. The total number that we end up with was $62 million. That's in-house. It's a cost of $3.9 million per year. And that would include material, covers, overtime, employee insurance, everything is included on these numbers.
But that's just an estimate though, right?
Yes, yes. But I gotta tell you, it's a really close estimate.
But so let me explain something to you. I'm saying this nicely to everybody on the board. That's one of the things that's going to, the reason why is that, you know why the reason that's that amount?
Because it hasn't been done in a long time.
But guess what this board and this staff is going to do? We're going to start what hasn't been done. We're going to start. We're going to start. I don't care if it costs $14 billion. We're going to start. We're going to put a plan in place, just like the master plan was put in place. We have to start. So numbers don't frighten me.
Right. No, it's not.
One bite at a time.
That's why we did these numbers based on 15 years. So, I mean, we all know we don't have $62 million. And we don't have 3.9 million either. But, you know.
We're gonna do it $10,000 at a time if we have to.
Well, anyway, if it doesn't work with the Trimble.
Yeah, if it doesn't work, yes.
Right.
There's others. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to understand. We are living in 2020, right?
Right.
His operation, just like most of ours operation, is automated. We're using a lot of computers. We're using a lot of technology. Can we throw back hard-earned money to make it happen? Yes. But I'm saying if we work hand in hand with technology, we can do it for a lot less.
Oh, no, trust me.
We need to find some program that can help us to make this happen.
Yes, I wish we can make it to that, that's for sure. So we can use less employees and we can...
But we just started trying.
Exactly.
We just reached out to one company. So if it takes for us to go through 10 or 15, so be it. We'll keep doing it until we find what works here with us, in our program.
Well, the only reason why I mention this is because if it doesn't get to that point where we can find a company that really installs something on our equipment to make it a lot easier and make more progress by hour, this is basically what we're going to face. So we can do it in-house or...
When are they coming out?
It's called Trimble.
That's the company.
They're coming out on Monday.
This coming Monday?
Yes, sir.
Where at?
8 a.m. We're gonna meet over here by Hunting Club and Live Oak.
But if you want to, you can, again, so a lot of times we don't have to reinvent the wheel. How many water districts do we have in the state of Florida, John? over 400. So somebody out of that 400 that we can reach out to is doing what we need done. We don't have to do a lot of legwork. We could, collaborate, says, hey, and visit, hey, by the way, what are you doing in Loxahatchee Water District? Or Indian River, what are you doing to clean swells? Because they're doing the same thing that we're supposed to have been doing, right?
Right.
So you don't have to, John, if you can get some contacts for us.
Yeah, we do. Remember, you clean the swale, so that means water comes from point A to point B. If the culverts aren't functional, then we're not.
Well, that's why we have to approach, remember we did the culvert stuff? He's gonna have to find an area, replace culvert, and then do the swales.
Yeah.
Or at the same
I
time.
think, or maybe culverts first,
Right.
so that when you get the water to where it needs to be, you can actually pass.
The thing is, and again, you guys have done an outstanding job with a little bit of resources we have. We have to look at this. This monster's not going away. And what's going to happen? So you can mark my word. If we have, and we've done good, right? If we have a major storm and we have tons of water, and I don't think my house will flood because I'm sitting on a freaking mound, 100-year plain mound, so I don't think I'll have any problems. But it's possible because we had quite a bit of rain. But if they investigate, they're going to say, because it's easy to be Monday morning quarterback of what we should have done. They're going to look and say, man, y'all haven't done anything. No maintenance.
30 years.
In 30 years.
Yes.
So again, this is on our shoulders. Let's carry it, let's tackle it, and let's come up with a plan. If it takes 100 years, Amelia, so be it.
Well,
we have to tackle it somehow.
Let me tell you something. All my team is for it. I just want you guys to know where we are and what we're doing with this.
Yes,
so.
sir.
We can only do what we can do, and we're gonna keep chugging at it, like I said. We're gonna keep hammering at it, little by little. And we get it done.
Yes.
Or we find a better way.
Maybe we can put this project in the mix too for the grant stuff.
That's
This is
exactly-
flood
That's
mitigation.
exactly correct.
Right.
There you go.
That's exactly correct. And so those are the things we're waiting on. You're exactly right. So there's a lot of things out there that we can piggyback on. But yes, if we have to do it, we're gonna have to put a lot of money in. But eventually, we're gonna have to do something about it. So again, we're living in tough times, but there's a lot of federal money coming down. But it needs to be ready to go, right? That project has to be ready to go as well.
Yeah, well, that was one of the reasons why we didn't include it on it, because it has to be shovel ready, and this is not really.
Thank you for bringing that up.
No
And it's gonna be a lot of money, but we have to. You're faced with a challenge just like this board is faced with a challenge. You have a question?
Yes, sir.
Sir?
I just want to ask the manager, we are at the end of August. And this time of year, for diesel from the house, food.
Yes, sir.
I don't know what you guys have done.
He's done an excellent job.
But
Let me
I
see.
haven't had no water in my dish yet.
As well.
And I'm really happy because I was waiting for that time to come. Because I have to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
And I also have water, spots of water, some places inside my room.
Yes, sir.
This year, nothing. I have rain. After the rain, I have supervised the whole property, and I have no spots of water, and the beach is really dry. So I would like to find out what you have done.
They're hammering at the problem.
I've been walking around.
They're gonna keep hammering
All
at
I
it.
to see if I see the water on the beaches. I haven't seen no water.
I'm gonna tell you something. I got pictures, and I keep saying I'm gonna bring them of years back after a hurricane. I have never seen so much water in this place. It's never happened since. We've had the rain, but the drainage is it's amazing. It's so much better.
Told me last year.
Well,
Yes, sir.
every year it gets better. Every time he fixes culverts, water runs. You'd be surprised. It doesn't take, you know.
What we've been doing when we start talking about this paper, this is basically it's two phases. We have 357 covers that goes from the dish under the canal bank, and it goes into the canal. I would say me and Bennett went through it, and I would say like 80% of them are caved in. They're destroyed. There's no water going in the canal, so the dish is holding water.
Correct.
We already start changing a lot of them but
In-house.
you can see our money is tight, so we're going little by little
Yes,
as
sir.
much as we can. Actually, Camino Real Canal is completely done from Cabbage Palm to 833. So next budget coming in, we're gonna tackle another canal bank. And one by one, we're gonna be doing new covers to increase the water flow from the dish into our canals. And another thing that we're doing is, especially at this time of the year, I'm trying as much as I can without drying Montura to keep our water table low.
Correct.
Especially because that's the only thing we can do for the low-lying properties not to be flooded. Because the low-lying properties, last year we know we have a lot of problem with that.
We did.
A lot of people was calling, I have a lot of water in my property. Well, your water don't go into the dish because you are on a low-lying property. The only thing I can do to help those properties is to keep the water table low.
Correct.
Because if your water doesn't reach into the dish, there is nothing Central County can do. Because that's your own property. You know, you can fill them up.
Water doesn't go uphill.
But there was a lot of places we went, you and I went, I
Yes.
still have pictures that place was flooded, the ditches were empty there. That's it,
Yes.
that's not, that
Yes.
doesn't pertain, I hate to say it that way, but it was nothing we could do.
Congratulations, you doing a really good job.
Yeah, they've tackled a lot, but there's still a lot.
There's a lot
There's
to
still
do.
a lot.
There's a lot to
And
do.
that's because we're paying attention to the master plan.
Yes.
And the board is throwing good hard-earned money. And again, Arminio's biggest challenge and the board's biggest challenge is he's working with a limited staff and he does an excellent job and limited funding. So I give them kudos for taking on the challenge, and
Thank you.
they have done great with for what we asked for. Because I told him when I first got on the board, I said I'm going to ask a lot of you, and he knows what I'm making reference to, and he's done his end of the bargain. Yeah, he's done his.
Thank you. And this project that we're talking about is, like Mata says, for years and years. With the rain, erosion going into the swells are
vegetation
way out of level. So some of them, the water run the opposite way.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. This is a $60 million project that it needs to be done, but
he's going to do it for 3.
Yes, we got.
I told you, I really happy. I really happy. I have no water in my dish.
You can see the difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't take, it's funny, you won't see it everywhere, but in certain areas, when he hits from certain areas, you see it right away.
Yeah, we cannot do, I wish we can, but we cannot do the process that was supposed to be done for 20 years. I mean, we have only been 2 years.
Yes, sir. That's
And
correct.
I'm really grateful that I have the team that I have, because we have done a lot
You have.
in 2 years. So,
Yes.
Congratulations.
Yep.
thank you.
Appreciate that. You want to keep going on?
I'm done, if anybody has any questions.
Go ahead, Denise. You have questions.
Are we going to vote on the air conditioner?
Well, that's already been voted
That's
on.
already been
What are
voted.
you talking about?
Sorry, not the air conditioner, generator.
Bring it up. Go ahead. Where are we at with that? Where are we at with the generator?
Generator, we talk a lot of time about the generator. Generator is $24,000, that was the quote. With a 35 from Generac. It's a diesel. We already got in contact with the lady. Becky asked her if the estimate was still good for it, and it is.
Good.
So I just need from you guys to vote on it, and we start working on it.
So can we get a motion on the vote? I thought this was already voted on. Can I get a motion on the floor to install a generator
I
at the
motion
clubhouse
that we
with
install
the
a
approved quote?
With the approved quote. I motion.
We have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second? All right, motion fails.
Okay.
All right, next one.
So just for the record, so there will be no confusing, because last time
I know.
it was never voted.
I know.
So, I have a few calls from some residents that were asking me why you guys didn't do the generator. And I said, it was never voted. And then they asked me, well, the board says, I said, look, it needs to be voted. And the reason why I was asked is because it was mentioned that we don't have the generator because we didn't do our job for the residents. So I just want to make it clear that once again, so there will be no confusion, the generator was torn down once again. Okay, I just want to.
Wasn't, this is like from a year ago, but I thought the point was that if we have a hurricane, that clubhouse is not gonna be there. The generator,
It's not up to code right now.
the generator was supposed to be a
It was there
safe
for the last
place.
Yeah. Let me tell you why.
The whole point with the generator, I'm sorry, Benny, the whole point with the generator, Mata has a good idea about the generator, but the board never went for it either. What Mata proposed was for the same reason, because the clubhouse is not a shelter. It's just after
Recovery, if it's
the
there.
storm, okay. What Mata proposed was to bring the trailer generators, like, rental generators, right?
But wait a minute, that's been that's why I am where I am. You can call and rent one quickly. That's my point, why I don't wanna spend $35,000.
We had that on the table.
Yes.
And then someone compared it to renting or getting it. And we were there for 3 months. We were renting or getting it, and we did nothing.
We'll let you speak on it. Go ahead, Benny.
The generators just to rent it was almost $2,000. Like, if I'm not wrong, it was $2,300 a month.
A month, yes.
So
Hurricane, you spend $2,300 and you're done versus $35,000. We don't have, y'all.
well, no, because you have to rent it during the hurricane season.
That's what we asked.
And so when you accumulate that, we were better off purchasing it, a diesel one.
They wanted it for the whole hurricane season to pay that much?
We asked for a board to rent it for the whole season, to have
Right,
one on season.
yes.
That's what was our request to
us.
When we get the
That was the
code,
board's request to.
we got it for the entire hurricane season.
You just don't remember that part, that's all.
No, what I remember is, what I wanted to do was call them, see if you could rent one. You know there's a hurricane in the area, can you rent it?
Well,
I know a lot of people that do.
No, we did that.
Yeah.
Becky asked them, and what they said is, normally, what everybody does is, you have to rent it way before the hurricane season so you can have one.
What do you mean rent it? They want you to start paying ahead of time?
You have to reserve
You
it.
have to
How much does that
reserve it.
cost?
Well, it's a rental fee.
Who do y'all talk to?
We went through United Rental. I went through Sunbelt. I went to 3 different ones.
Kelly.
Patty
United
can tell you because she works for Glades County. She could tell you the same thing. We have to. That's the way it is in, and again,
That's
the
way they
least
do it
expensive
to
one.
the hurricane season.
But once you did the numbers,
Yeah, if that's the case, then
it
it makes no way.
makes it to install a permit.
All right, can we back up for a second? I want to look at this, but I don't want to keep putting it off. I know a lot of people that rent generators, and I'm thinking big generators. I'm talking semi-generators.
Yes, sir.
And I ain't never heard that story. I want to check into that.
Okay.
Can we set this thing up so if once I get the answer I need, if it is in fact what you're saying, I would second the motion. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna spend $20,000 holding one to see if you need it. Hell, you might as well buy one.
Well, we do have some estimates for the rental. We can make some other calls, bring more estimates.
Can you give Benny a copy, and then Benny can do his homework as well? Is that working?
Well, I remember us talking about it, but it's been back and forth. So,
Because I brought up the rental.
Yes.
We do that.
Yes.
yeah, the same thing.
We do that.
I mean, a pile of them come in there
And actually, the price that Mr. Our chair gave me was from a year ago, but when I call, it wasn't no 1,500 that the price of what they gave him. My price was, I'll get the correct quote from the old agendas that we brought to you guys. If I'm not wrong, it was $2,300 a month.
They rent a big.
Send me all that information. I'm gonna make a couple of calls tomorrow to some people I know, and I want to hear that.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
However,
And I had to, and we had to reserve it in April. I had to reserve it in April to start June.
July, and all
August, September, they're crazy now, that's crazy. Okay.
It was to start, no, the contract starts in June.
You have to reserve it in April to start paying in June, but you have to sign a contract.
But you have to sign a contract that we're gonna have it the whole season
September, October, that's a little cheaper. 6 months?
to reserve it, but we have to keep it the whole season, which is up to November
That's
1st.
why the numbers made sense to.
That's why I went, well, that's the reason I haven't ever wanted any part of it, if y'all remember.
We can always bring you more.
I've been backing up the whole time because I wanted to rent one. If that's the case, I'll make the motion that if I cannot find us a generator, then we go ahead and purchase this one. How about that? That work?
We can always put the numbers together again.
Let's go by the council.
Can we do that or not?
Sure we can.
I
Okay.
mean, that's,
Well, I
well,
have
you're gonna condition $30-some thousand expenditure
You got
on
it.
you.
On me making
Making
two
a
calls.
phone call.
Yes, sir. That's right.
That's why they have you council.
Yeah, I'll be honest with
You
you.
don't like that one?
No, because it's, I mean, we're talking about,
All right. All
the
right.
board needs to say yea or nay.
All right, here we go.
It sounds like you're ready to vote at the next meeting.
No. We're doing that. Hold on. The motion is we buy the generator. And hold up 2 weeks before you buy it.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we send you guys an emails with the numbers and all the information, and then Martha can always call a emergency meeting if you guys want to go ahead and do it quickly, and then you guys vote for it.
hurricane season.
Well, it's been hurricane season. It's been hurricane season.
It's not gonna be installed next week.
No, it's not. It's not. I mean, that's gonna take. Even if you guys vote now, it's probably. And let's keep in mind that in order for them to install it, they need to wait for the paneling to be done. So
It
it's
ain't
a whole
gonna happen
process.
this year no matter what.
Probably not. Yes.
Probably not. It's not gonna happen this hurricane season. So,
Because they don't
no matter
have
what
those
you-
generators waiting for somebody to decide to buy a $25,000
But we
generator.
really gotta get our act together and decide what we're going to do.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Let us send you guys the information,
The motion is
the
in.
rentals, that this and that.
I seen it
Okay.
already.
So that transfer switch, you bid that as part of the generator?
We usually.
No,
Bid it separate.
no, we needed to take it out because the generator company will not give us full warranty if they don't install the
So what
truck.
they tell you,
Right, so it's bid together.
it's bid in the yes.
Yes,
Generator,
yes, with the generator, now with the paneling.
They won't warranty it.
Oh, it makes sense.
So
All right.
just send it to him, so the failed motion still stands.
Well, my motion is we buy it, so give me, hold it off for 2 weeks.
You can
Talk to me, give me help there,
You
council.
can vote and say, let's go forward, let's buy it, we've looked at the proposal, but do not make any commitments, don't sign any contracts for 30 days.
There you go.
That'll get us to the next
Well,
meeting.
I won't be able to.
If you show up and go, whoa, I got the deal of the century on it, then you can always stop.
Okay, so I won't be able to sign it because it's more than $10,000. So it's gonna have to come back to them anyway.
So,
There's another one.
so we're not doing anything by doing it now, we're still waiting for
Let's
the next
just
meeting.
not lose the memory, remember?
you know
we
what?
did?
The problem is the momentum.
You won't forget, believe me.
If it's for that, we might as well wait till the year is over and you get it with the new budget.
Ah, Denise, I like that, I like
like
that.
that,
Yes, ma'am. I love it, all right.
You
Motion.
have to budget
So-
for the plaque on the generator.
So let's table this.
Miller Memorial.
Let's table this for the next meeting and let's keep it on our mind, all right? Let's keep it on our mind.
We done that 30
All right,
times.
we'll
We're not gonna be
table.
using it, so why?
Well, just so you guys know, this is the 14th time we talk about the
Oh
generator.
yeah, I'm sure.
And we probably, I was trying to stop all that talking again, but here we are again. Denise, I like what you said.
Yes,
We're not gonna use it this year anyway, let's put it on next year's budget. Thank you,
You
Denise.
like what I said.
Thank you, I like it. And we'll use it for next year's budget.
Listen, I don't mind going
Okay,
back
so
and
do you
forth
guys
as long
still
as
want the
it's the right
information
thing.
now?
I will. I'm just saying, I like what you said. You inspired me to let's wait till next year.
Get
We gonna
it,
get
the
it.
information.
It's only a month away.
And, you know,
Yeah.
I keep beating this drum.
Go ahead.
When you're spending that kind of, we have nothing on the agenda about voting on a generator.
So next month, let's actually have something on the,
Okay,
on the agenda that says, discuss and vote on purchasing generator
For
for
next year.
clubhouse.
He must have forgotten.
For next year.
Yeah, but
Because I
it's
told-
got, it really, because the public then doesn't know that who's
I told
gonna
him.
vote.
understand. Okay,
For next year.
all right.
Too late now. You made a great point. We're not gonna use it anyway.
Guys, it is.
It is on there.
Yeah, I thought so.
AC and generator, yes.
It's on.
I just wanted to make sure, but I know we.
Because I've been, you know, you've
Yes,
thrown
it
me
is,
out
it
of
is.
the office
It
about
does.
3 times.
Thank you, Denise, for bringing that
It's not on
up.
my agenda.
It's not on yours?
No.
It's,
have the
it's
right-
It
there.
says, discuss and vote, heavy equipment grader need to be replaced.
Wait a minute, you don't have the same agenda.
It just says discuss, vote AC and generator clubhouse. It's on it.
August
All right.
26th.
Well,
It's on mine. Hey Denise, any other questions for Emilio? District manager?
I have
I don't
something
have
here.
anything else.
You know what it is?
Any,
I know what
any
happened.
questions for District
I'm
manager?
scared to ask him anything. Everything costs
New
money.
one,
Okay.
It has
That's
nothing
the
to do
one
with
that's
sector.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
because I make my own files.
This is just a
Oh, okay,
suggestion.
okay,
to make
okay.
So
it-
this is what she sent out.
Into the mic. So they can-
Okay, Mr. Arminio,
Yes, ma'am.
or the board, I had given this to him as a idea, okay?
Go ahead.
I'm forever giving him ideas,
Okay.
Good, I'm
like you guys are, like you guys are too. Doesn't mean he agrees with me, but and one of the ideas was to take pictures of any home with its address, of any home that has boats, old boats, small ones. The reason why I say this
Junkyards.
junkyards
Thank
is to, whenever we find one in the middle of the road, we could take that picture to the owner with the address, you try to get the number of the, of the house, and we could have something to probably prevent having, when we wake up in the morning, 2 and 3 cars in the middle of the street, that we're saying, who put this here? I'm talking about little boats, yachts, little yachts that you see in front, in the yards and all that. Old trucks, vans and all that, they think that they can take the license plate off and just dump it anywhere.
Yes.
That could be, this is just an idea.
I'm with you.
Okay, it just,
It was 26.
Because we
Hold on one second.
we ran around, we did that on the last go around when I was on this board, we did that. Gave it to the county, they didn't do anything about it. Now they claim they're gonna, but I'm not saying that's gonna do it, it's a good
Okay.
idea. You're here all day, if you see it, say something. And
I
clean up
also,
this mess.
that's one idea. The second idea that I had was,
Wait a minute, you said my idea, not too good.
the other idea that I had, no, oh my God.
Left your mind.
Wait a minute, don't pick on me.
I'm not big.
I spoke to Mr. Vaughn.
Okay.
I had a meeting this week with our manager and our assistant manager.
You mean you were spending my time?
Yes, I was spending your time. And we spoke about waste,
Waste.
talking about
Solid
spending solid waste,
Okay.
$5,000 this month for the containers
Trash.
and all that. We were discussing it, how we could prevent it and this and that.
Okay.
And we had some ideas. I could share, if it's too late, I could share them with you at the next meeting.
Never
because
too late.
We're not gonna solve it right now.
Okay.
So I did speak to him. And he said that the main reason why he could see us using those containers is because of the code enforcement sweep that they had here.
Yes, ma'am.
And also the people that are staying home because of the COVID.
Okay.
And they're cleaning up their homes.
Okay.
Okay? Those 2 reasons, he says he's seen it in the entire Hendry County.
Mr. Vaughn.
Mr. Vaughn.
Okay.
Tommy Vaughn is his
Okay.
name. Okay? I told him about, did we get an increase because of the garbage cans? I heard people say that our taxes went up and this and that. He says that the tax for the waste management did not go up this year.
The only thing went up was the property value. The millage is still the same for the county.
That's it.
Yeah, the county's getting more money yet.
The millage stayed the same. What happened is our property values went up. That's why The millage is still the same, so they didn't increase, they didn't give us even though they wanna levy some mosquitoes and some other stuff, fire department or something, but the millage is still the same in the county. What went up is my property, your value went up, so again, if your property goes up, your taxes are gonna go up.
Okay.
Yep.
I wanna bring up also a fund. I think that we're not so poor that I called it an employee appreciation fund. $500 a year, where they could use that money, the office, Central County, for Christmas and Thanksgiving, or Thanksgiving and another holiday.
You're talking about
provide the money?
We are.
talking about like a bonus?
No, not a bonus. $500 as a
You say for a holiday
the
party.
entire thing for a holiday party.
We have that in our budget. We have stuff like that in our budget.
We do.
No.
Well, she's saying something different.
They paid for it last
No,
year.
no.
I came to the party.
Okay, what
Hey,
she was talking about,
You didn't want to come.
what she was talking about, and I told her we cannot. Okay, if you guys remember, especially Denise, this is that, especially that part was what got Cookie in trouble. Okay, because a few hot dogs and hamburgers or whatever. Okay, so what she means is she was asking us, how do we do our
Cookout.
no, the
Christmas party, Thanksgiving.
employee Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
our lunch, Christmas, what we did at the clubhouse.
Yes,
Credit
sir.
card.
Oh, no. What we do is, we have all the material that we use for the residents to use for parties and stuff like that at the clubhouse. So we use that for the tables and everything, but the food is coming out of our pockets. That's what she's talking about.
So, hold on, I got a question for you, John. So, is it unethical or unlawful for them to use a company credit card approved by the board to have, to have a cookout, a special party, anything like that?
How you pay for it doesn't matter, so
Okay.
that's, when I started here, that was the big issue. There was
Okay.
the manager, somebody filed a complaint with the Commission on Ethics,
Okay,
and they were selling scrap metal,
okay.
and they had a fund, thousands of dollars
Yeah,
in a fund.
The
It
previous?
wasn't on the books,
yes.
it wasn't, it wasn't recorded in the budget.
Right,
It was
right.
just, she had a secret fund,
Okay.
and she was, we don't know how things were paid out of that fund, but we do know Christmas parties and other things for the
Yeah.
employees.
There was some receipts.
Employees that had cars that were tore up, that were short of money, they would fix them.
Yeah,
This
and
went on
so
for
the
years.
Commission on Ethics said you can't sell public property, taxpayer, and have it in this private fund. You can't do that.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong with putting $500 aside and saying,
I didn't think so either.
once a year, for the benefit of the employees, to thank them during Christmas, to buy hamburgers and hot dogs. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that it was this slush fund that was being kept. that
Well, what
wasn't
I
recorded.
mean is, when Denise proposed it, I'm sorry, Mr. Fernandez, when Denise proposed it to me, I mean, we were happy. It's good, because they deserve it.
But there's
big
a
time.
trail. What she's proposing, there's a trail. That's what I
Right,
said.
so the only thing I told Denise, I said, thank you, but I want you to bring it to the board, so there will be no,
So,
There's nothing wrong, because remember.
yeah, so
that
let's
was
get it out
taking
here so we can, so
public
everybody
property and
on the
putting it
same
in
Right.
a
page.
private account. You can't do that.
no.
Right,
we're
right.
not.
If she had sold that scrap and given it to Central County, it was in our budget,
I understand.
and then you budgeted money to pay for hamburgers, that's not a problem.
That's-
It's that she put it in a private account, nobody knew,
Yeah.
she controlled it, that was the problem.
Right. Well, I was referring to that ticket for receipt for $136 for hot dogs and whatever out of a Christmas party. You might not remember, but I do. And well, anyway, the whole deal is that Denise want us to have. She asked me, how much do you think? I said, well, we don't need that much. $500 a year will be fine. So her idea is for us to have to you know, we always do Thanksgiving and Christmas, lunch for the employees. And I said, well, that's fine, and I appreciate it, but can you please bring it to the board so there will be nothing, you know.
And so there is a paper trail, there should be, put on the budget, employee appreciation lunch.
Yeah, don't come, yeah.
$500.
I'm not finished yet.
Nobody said you were finished. I just wanted to clarify that it is cool. We're not doing anything wrong. Good.
And the reason why-
it's not apples to apples what we're talking about.
The reason why I'm not finished yet is because for the first time in the 10 years that I've been coming here,
Okay.
we have a volunteer group, the reservoir volunteers. And I think we should do something for them.
I agree.
I totally agree.
So make the budget $750.
No, so we make a set, well, you know better than I do.
We have a budget.
Why? Why don't we just include them in the parties?
Yeah, so,
It'll be done.
No, I don't know if you.
Our reservoir
That's a little
budget as well.
That's a volunteer, a
It is.
residential, so that's
now
why I brought
it's
it up.
like, well, give it to that group or about this other group, or about the people that, you know, you get into a slippery slope.
Just tell us.
You wanna invite them to a party, invite them to a party, but it's, I don't think you.
Okay, don't do it separate.
To the employee party.
Okay.
You just invite them. That's what, yeah.
We'll let CCOM pay for it.
Well, let's see, come over.
There you go.
CCOM donated 15 garbage cans,
Right.
right? 15 garbage cans, $505 last month.
Really cheap, they were really cheap.
Cheap garbage
Keep
cans.
it up, keep it up. Okay, I'm not finished.
Go ahead, you're not finished. Go ahead.
Opening up the reservoir.
And she cried a lot for those $500.
It's not.
So let's stay on the agenda. We
You
have,
told me to
that's
do
an
it.
agenda item.
Oh, it
Yes,
is?
it is.
Okay, okay, can I skip that? I'm looking at
Yeah,
mine.
no, because that's a formal vote.
Okay, did we talk about opening up the meetings? I see that it's open already.
I think it's appropriate to have a
Okay, so
discussion.
I had that.
Yeah, but
I'll
I
have a good
think you should
discussion.
discuss it.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'd say, I didn't know that we were gonna.
Hey, them two cats done fell out, look. Look, knock now.
You fell asleep?
Look, they're knocked now.
Go ahead. You're on TV. Go ahead.
Okay. We could open up the reservoir the whole week, the way we used to have it before, or we could open it up the weekends that we already have, the police officer there, the security guard, and 2 days of leave. He just told me to go open it.
No, he said to wait because it's on the agenda.
Okay, so leave that.
You can talk about anything that is not on the agenda.
All right, that's
But
it.
if you wanted to talk about opening up
Open. You
told me to do it.
So opening up this meeting.
opening up.
He's talking about this meeting, right?
Opening up this meeting.
That's what he said, this meeting.
You said reservoir.
Not that you said the rest.
Right, I finished with that and then I went into the reservoir.
But you didn't even talk, you just raised the issue.
We were too busy laughing. We didn't
One
talk
will
about
be,
it.
right, as usual.
hungry.
One will be opening this up to the 10 people the most, maybe.
I think they came up with 9. I think our
9, okay, 9 people.
You guys,
If anybody wants to come and have a question and they're the number 10, they will have the question and then go home. Okay? Some people like to come to meetings. I'm one of them. And, you know.
Okay, so I think on the website, I'll work with Becky on the language, put something there that says there'll be limited access to the monthly board meetings, no more than 9 individuals, first come, first serve. We would appreciate it if you have an issue to address, and once you address it, if you could leave to allow someone else to enter. That's it, you can do that.
If it's over 9 people.
I think you can do more than that.
Well, you guys are voting to 9, so it will never be over 9.
hold on, guys, hold on. Wait a minute. Look,
Yeah.
look how many seats you got there.
Yeah.
9 is gonna put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One person per row. You can do 2 people per row, for that reason, for that matter.
Well,
One on one end, one on the other.
Well, we did think about it, but you got one behind the other one. on less than 16.
Two,
That's the
one,
only-
two, one, less than
Say what you do, like you said, here, there, here, and
Two?
yeah.
One in the middle, two.
Remember, they're saying now, as of yesterday, that 6 feet is not enough.
Really?
It's been on the news.
That's why we come up with 9.
After 6 months, it's not enough.
Yeah, that's what they said.
They're saying that.
Number one, for the record, I don't believe nothing the news says, because if their mouth's open, they're lying anyway. I want to hear it from the CDC.
It was from the
We
CDC.
came out
It was from
with
the
the
CDC.
9 because it's from the CDC. If you guys wanna.
So what's the new number, 7 foot, 8 foot?
They're talking about 12 foot.
Oh my God.
So,
I'm gonna tell you something, that tells me they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So-
First you can.
So let's go ahead and discuss.
I'm on the record for they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
So let's talk about this. So, is the board in agreement that we have a maximum of nine people from the community to attend our meetings?
you can round it up to 10 if you want.
Okay, we can put 10. Are we in agreement with 10?
You should put it on the website.
Yes,
say,
of
you know,
course.
wear masks, do whatever, but
You have
you don't need to vote, but just have.
We'll use that also, exactly, we'll use that social media as well.
I
Are you
agree.
good?
I
Benny,
agree.
you okay with it?
I think we can do better, but it's.
Well, 10's a start, then we can go from there.
All right, I mean.
We might not even get 10, but we can start with 10.
We normally do.
Unless we talk about closing on the reservoir, then we'll have a packed house.
Knock down, okay. So
Okay.
10 it is.
So,
So moved.
what else you had for us, Denise?
Not the reservoir is on the agenda.
Can we get to that and get this done?
Almost.
I haven't
That's
even
about
done
it.
my report yet.
Okay, yes, sir.
That's about it.
I'll be quick, I'll be really quick.
That's about it.
Hold on one second, Mr. Gonzalez. Herminio, can we talk on going over yours, can we talk about, are we there with, where are we at? I noticed on your report, applications for the clubhouse, where are we at with that? Maintenance position, we have a maintenance position open, where are we at with that?
We only have 2 applicants for the clubhouse, new applicants. So I'm gonna have to,
How many do you have in total?
2
We have 2 applicants?
for the new opening of the clubhouse.
Okay, for the new
Okay.
opening of the.
Yes,
of the
so
new-
what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to go back to the applications from the highway maintenance and pick, go through it, pick 2 or 3 people from there and call them and see if they agree to do maintenance at the clubhouse. And then we'll do the interviews and pick one.
Just remember, if you would, when you do that process, that you bring it before the board.
You mean you want me to send it to you guys?
That's what I think we voted on quite a while back on that you bring that to us.
Yes, to send it to you guys through email.
And you give us who you choose, it's fine, but let the board look at it to see if we see, hey, by the way, this person's got like a 3rd-degree murder or, that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Just allow us just to look over, we're not trying to say we're gonna pick for you.
Right.
I want you to pick
What
up,
you're gonna say is, I wanna hire this person,
Yeah.
unless someone raises.
disagrees, or something like
I'm
that,
gonna go ahead and hire this.
Right.
And there gotta be a good reason for the
And
disagreement.
it's
So,
gotta be a
yeah,
damn good reason,
we talked about that a while back.
Yeah.
I remember.
Next question I was asked by the community is, that stockpile that we have of fuel, is that compactable?
No, it's not.
Alright,
That's pure sand.
Somebody just said it to me.
okay, cause they was asking, have we ever done a proctor on, I said, man, I don't know.
No, that's pure sand.
Okay.
That's pure sand mixed with,
So it's a mixture.
all pieces of wood that was back there from years and years, so it's not, no, it's not.
Okay, alright.
In other words, it doesn't have any rock, it's pure sand.
Gotcha,
Yes.
okay. Alright, that's all I have for the manager.
I have a question. I wanna bring
You're
something up
late.
to the board.
You're
Instead
late, you've had your
No, but I
5
was
minutes of
interrupted
fame.
by you 2 guys too much.
Oh my god.
A book and a half.
Too much.
I'm gonna have to put the handle on you.
Wow.
Go ahead.
That's a new book.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
I asked Mr. Rousseau
Okay.
about 3 times or 4 times last week to come up with a list, and you might disagree with me, you're welcome to do it. Come up with a list of money that we are spending because of violence because of destruction of our property. Like the signs that they're shooting at.
Yes.
And I know that you two think that it'll never go away or whatever, and you might be right. If he gives me that information, which I asked him for, and I'll forgive you this time that you didn't give it to me, those containers that we have, that we're spending $5,000 for, I could see spending maybe $1,000 instead of $5,000. It's gone up to $8,000, right? Last month was $8,000?
Yes.
On containers alone. And we're already paying for garbage to Henry County. If he makes up a list of all the money that we spend per month that we could have saved, we could put that on our website and let the taxpayers, the residents of Montura, know we wasted money on this month. And put down the figures, whatever it is. Every sign that is taken down costs us money. The street signs are being shot at too. Not only the stop signs or whatever. I bring it up to you because I had not discussed it last time. I discussed with him. And I asked him to do it. He didn't do it, but it's okay.
Well, what actually is supposed to happen, that's a great question. But what's actually supposed to happen, when you have damaged property, you're supposed to get a police report.
Yeah, police report.
And you log it, So like for instance, even illegal dumping, when somebody's illegal dumping, should we go pick it up? Yes, of course we should pick it up. But at the same time, you should know the county, hey, by the way, here's some pictures, or can you come out here and look? Because we have to do, in my opinion, we have to do a better job to collaborate a lot with the county so we can start tackling these difficult issues. Now the other thing is, I remember, I don't have elephant's memory, but I do have when I was fresh new on the board, that the bill up at that time was like 10 to almost 12,000 a month, and the board was okay paying it. So I did the math, 10 times 12, that's $120,000 in trash, and the board was okay doing that. So I was like, wow. So I'm glad that the numbers did go down, but they are creeping up, and we know the reason why they're creeping up, because the county has come and started enforcing something that they probably should have done a long time ago. But those numbers probably won't go down for a little while.
And I stick to this thing. If they don't have a place to put it, they're gonna put it out in the street, and that $8,000 is gonna turn into $16,000 when you gotta haul a dump truck around and people to go get it versus it's more expensive to go get it.
To close it down.
Right.
They closed it down for like 6 months, and that started
We've
happening.
been through it for years.
When the board decided to close it down, it was because that year we paid $106,000
That's
for
a lot
it.
of money.
That's
You're
right.
Exactly, it was $106,000.
But again, as you well pointed out, Denise, many a times, it's educating our people, educating our residents, because obviously, and I see it all the time, and I drive by, I see semi-tires on the side of the road. Because to properly dispose that costs some money.
Yep.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
But it also costs money to go get it.
I see beds, I see sofas, I seen boats.
Boats.
Remember I called you, I seen boats on the road.
That's what I say, take pictures of the property that already have boats.
But that's the responsibility not of Central County, that's the responsibility of Hendry County.
Yes, that's
Then we
Henry.
need to,
A letter to every resident of Montura. This was maybe 2 years ago, and the letter said, oh, I drafted it.
I remember.
And we attached to the letter the Hendry County waste pickup information.
Oh,
and
yes.
the letter said, we're not involved in the trash business. If you have any questions, please call Hendry County at this toll-free number. If you want to know what trash gets picked up on what day, please see the attachment to the letter. We sent a whole letter, and I think it went to everybody.
we posted that letter at the clubhouse.
And that's education, because I think I remember we had a full house, and a lot of people said, you guys aren't picking up the trash. And you said, no, we don't do trash, that's Hendry County, they get paid for that in your taxes.
Well,
And
not,
so we
not only
wanted to
that,
educate.
we did 24 by 24 signs, English and Spanish,
Yes.
and they're still at the post
They are.
office.
They are.
based on that letter. So it's, I mean, I would say, I'm sorry, Denise, I would say eventually, I don't know when that eventually is, but, yes, you're right, and you were asking for it almost every month.
Yes, sir.
Our dump, bill was between 1,800 and 22 every month. We were able to keep it there for, I would say like 5 or 6 months, and then
That's it.
that's when Henry County started hitting everybody out here in Ventura and Pioneer and everywhere. And that's when he went crazy. That's where we are right now.
Well, the problem is nothing should change because they still should do what they were doing. You know, get rid of the stuff, send it to the county. But again, if we are not careful, we'll wind up picking it up all over this place that we have before.
I have a solution, but go ahead, Mr. Gonzalez, you've been patient, thank you.
Yes. Now, I'm in the business as well, and you mentioned about boats. Every vehicle, every vessel has an FL number or has a VIN number, okay? If they erase it or remove it, it's on the chassis as well. Now, every vehicle that is abandoned out here, okay, you call, supposedly, the way it's supposed to be handled is you call the police department, they come out, they request a police-directed tow, okay, through Clewiston Police Department or their rotation, and they're supposed to take it. Once they take it, they will send a letter, a lien letter, to that homeowner, okay? And believe me, the fines are not easy, okay? But again, I don't understand. I really don't understand. You don't have to pick it up or dispose of it or anything, right? Not in a 298?
We do, but the right of way is my responsibility, so I have to
Right
take
of way
it
is
out.
it's in our right of way.
So let me
Right, but it's
explain.
a police directed tow if he calls it in.
Well,
What?
we'll try it.
Oh, I'm sorry?
We'll try it.
Oh,
No, hold on, because it happens a few times.
You're talking to the
Okay.
right person regarding this, okay? Because you're talking to me. I own a towing company, okay? And I work with the police department as well. Every vehicle, every vessel has a VIN number, okay? We established that already. So again, we don't have to, I know you're short of employees, so that's something else that you don't need extra on that. But going forward, it's called a police directed tow. They have to remove it anywhere, whether it's once it's outside 3 feet out of that yard, they have to remove it.
Okay, this is the problem we're running into. I'm 100% aware of what you're saying, and we have found vessels, car, half a cars. You can mention it. Every single time we call the police, they go to the vessel, they look at the VIN number. It's not stolen. You gotta take it.
No, it's wrong. It's called the police directed tow. The police is not doing their job there.
Well,
The police is not, okay, the police is not doing their job because
We'll check it.
the statute is,
That's what
they
we
have
do.
to take it because they're in a police rotation.
that's the reason why we have 4 boats on our backyard over here.
Put them on the street and then have them pick up.
I will check into
Again,
that.
it's my responsibility to make sure because our liability is on the line.
Yes, it is.
We
Once it
have to
comes
take
in
it.
here,
Yeah.
now we're stuck with it.
We have to take it.
Well, I'm gonna make some calls.
I'm gonna make some calls as well. I'm gonna
Yeah,
jump
yes.
into that as
You
well
got me.
because you know what? It's that's the business that I run
And-
and something's wrong there.
And that's what we have to do to, again, get better at doing that because again, holding them responsible. Hey, by the way, don't you
Well,
need
we have spoke to them a few times, Becky also,
Yes.
and right there on the scene, Mayo and Perimeter, we found a whole Jeep Cherokee cut off.
Okay, but again,
We
you
found-
have the boats there,
We
right?
found
They're here.
about 13 places, each and one of them, the VIN number was clear.
Yes, sir.
The court, the sheriff went out there, I was there, they looked at it, and they said it's not a stolen.
But the thing is, if you notice that area has improved a lot as well, correct?
I'm sorry?
That place has improved a lot, the area that you're discussing.
Yes, they have. So it is.
Because-
Okay, so you have an idea. We have a whole 40-foot standard container on Perimeter and Orange, right? Okay, it's sitting in the middle of the road. I myself went over there, called the sheriff department. The guy went,
he didn't even get off from the car. He said, that's not my problem, that's on the right of way.
We're gonna look into that.
Yeah.
We're gonna really look into that,
I'm gonna
okay?
call Steve tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation with Steve tomorrow, because you know what?
Yes.
They have
If
rotation,
you
it's called
go-
police rotation, police
If you go
rotation.
to Perimeter and Orange, I think it is, right, Becky?
Is it in the road?
It is.
No problem. I'll
It is
take
in the
care of
road.
Thank
It
you.
is in
Because
the
at
road.
the end of the day, it's a police directed toll, the rotation has to hold it. There's a contract, it's on this listed on the contract.
Is it a good container? Is it a good container? I don't want them to get it.
It's almost
I know.
almost very new.
All right.
Don't put a lien on, you put a lien on it, and you can give it 45 days.
Thank you.
And
Do
John
you have any
still
more
hasn't
questions for
given his
the
report.
manager? Because we still have a few more
No,
reports.
no.
All right, thank you, Romeo, appreciate your report.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Boyd, you want to give your treasury report? We're sorry. Mr. Boyd, can you give us a report, please?
Any water, you guys want water?
Here.
Can you hear us? Jose, can you hear us? Mr. Boyd, can you hear us by any chance? I can barely hear.
Hang on.
Okay.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
You should be able to hear me now.
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Okay. With all the money we've gone through this, I'll tell you real quick.
Yes, sir, go ahead.
43,000 this month.
I see that.
Haven't transferred any money back and forth. We haven't needed to. Out of $1,750,000 of our assessment, we've only got 33,000 left. We collected the rest of it. On the next page, it just shows the breakdown of July's collections. As far as the current year tax comparison, we're about $24,000 under the prior year, and that's just timing. And delinquent tax collection, we're about $54,000 under. As far as our total budget and so forth, we've already been over all that.
Yes, sir.
$169,000 under our budgetary expenses,
Okay,
which is about 9% under.
okay.
I think we've covered all the other items pretty much already.
So we're 9% under.
So that's it, unless you got questions.
Okay, I have no questions. So we're 9% under our budget as we speak for 2019, 2020, with 2 months to spare.
Right, we're 10 months through, yes.
Okay. Any questions from the board?
So you're doing good right now.
Or any
No, I'm good.
questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Boyd. Appreciate it. No more questions.
Okay.
Mr. Romero?
You're welcome.
As you may recall, there was a Commission on Ethics complaint filed against Ms. Rebecca Hernandez.
Okay.
And it had to do with the public records request made by Mariela Self. And on August 1st, we got a response from the Commission on Ethics. The complaint filed by Ms. Self has been dismissed. It alleged that Ms. Hernandez did not acknowledge a public records request had been filed in a timely manner. You know, when someone files a request, you gotta say, we got it, we're gonna process it. It also alleged that they had not been given all of the documents requested in the public records request. The Commission on Ethics said, look, number one, that's not our area of responsibility.
Okay.
We don't see anything you said that has to do with an ethical violation
Okay.
by Ms. Hernandez, so the complaint was dismissed.
Okay.
I did speak to Ms. Hernandez about the public records request.
Okay.
I went through what she did, what she provided, and I believe she has given all of the information that is required. You know, when somebody files a public records request, that means you're asking for documents.
Yes, sir.
Pieces of paper.
Yes, sir.
I want a copy of this, I want a copy of that. And we're obliged to provide it
Okay.
to anybody who requests it. Now, we have a policy now that was adopted where if it requires an extensive amount of time, more than an hour, then the individual will be charged for the staff time it takes to respond.
Understood.
Because we have limited staff.
We do.
And if you're getting repeated public records requests again and again, then there's no time to do the business of the district. So we're gonna, make sure it's not abused. So that's number one. Number two, if I file a public records request and I say, how come you did this? And I think you violated the law, and you should tell me what you did to not violate the law. Well, that's not a public records request.
Yeah, that's inquisition.
Yeah, so if it's things that we have in our possession, we should make copies and give it to people as soon as possible.
Yeah, public record.
Right, for
Yes,
public record. So I think we've been able to clear that up.
Good.
And so we're moving on from that matter.
Great.
And as I said, we now have a public records policy that you all voted on at the last meeting.
Good.
That's gonna be put in place.
Okay.
And the other stuff is on the agenda, which we'll hopefully get to now. And I'll talk to you about the interlocal agreement.
Yeah, I think, I definitely have a question, but go ahead, you get right into that.
Okay, so, we have an interlocal agreement with Hendry County for the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity has these things called community block grants.
That's correct.
And in this case, there's a program for what they call disaster recovery and mitigation. And in that case, disaster mitigation is, among other things, drainage and flood control. So we've been talking to the county and working on this. I got a call from the county attorney maybe 2-3 weeks ago and said, hey, I've been directed by the commission to work with you. We want to do an interlocal. He presented me with the interlocal you have in front of you. Now, I want you to keep in mind a couple of things. We, the district, cannot apply for a block grant. Only a county can apply for it.
Okay.
So we have to work through Hendry County because it's the way the program was set up by the state of Florida.
Yes, sir.
So only an applicant. And basically what this interlocal agreement does is say, the county says, okay, Central County, we're gonna process these applications for you, but any costs that we incur, we want to be reimbursed for out of the grant monies.
Okay.
Which is reasonable. I added language here, that said that, we're not gonna just sit back and wait for them to tell us. So I put language in here that says that they have to coordinate with us. I'll find it.
Let me, as you're looking for it, do you mind I ask you something as well?
Mm-hmm.
So, this block grant, Henry County speaking on our, they have to speak on our behalf, correct?
Correct.
So what if they get a block grant and they says, well, it's Henry County, are they gonna say, well, you know what, I divide it fairly, evenly, or they're the ones that decide who gets what, this, that, and the other?
Yeah, so remember, and I should have said this before, we applied for this.
Okay.
There was a woman that called us from I think it was the Regional Planning Council, and they called us back 3 weeks later and said, oh, whoops, we can't do this for you, sorry.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's how we ended up with the county. So what gets funded here are projects. So we have submitted our 3 projects. So if money comes in, if the county wants to undertake those projects, they can knock themselves out. I doubt it. But what gets funded are the projects. So the county can't say, oh no, we want to take that money and put it for another project.
Allocated.
That was my question earlier, okay.
No, because it's not like, everything is earmarked. So it's not like the county gets a pot of money and they get to turn around and say, well, you get this much and you get that much. No.
That's what I'll do.
They fund a project or they don't fund a project.
Projects.
If one of our projects get funded, great. They're doing this with other districts. We're not the only one.
Understood, correct.
So whoever's projects get funded are the ones,
So that's why we need a turnkey ready, pretty much.
That's gonna
Shovel the ground ready.
be, I can tell you, when the state looks at these projects, the ones that get to the top of the list
The priority.
are the ones that are ready to go, because they want to turn dirt. They don't want to have money sitting on the shelf for a year, because at the end of the year, they're gonna go to the governor and say, look at all what we've done. And so they want shovel ready. I still think we need to develop these projects a little more, even the one that Edminio talked about, that's a $4 million, well, based on his budget, $4 million, could be more, could be less, it's a lot of money. We need to develop some of the engineering and design work, because, we all read the papers. I think there's gonna be a lot of federal stimulus money coming down the pipe this year, next year,
Or ones that are
maybe
ready.
the year after. Yeah, and even some state money might be coming, but, we are, we meet all the boxes,
And we score.
socioeconomically,
And we score high.
challenged, yeah.
And we
So
score high.
shame on us if we don't get some serious money
I
out of
totally
this.
agree.
Now, the old saying, sometimes you have to spend money to make money. One of the things that we can talk to our engineer about, but I think we need to hire an engineering firm to do a 30% design or a conceptual design on some of these big projects. And then those design books, we put them on the shelf. And when we see a program, we take it off the shelf and file it with our application. And that's gonna take, it's probably $15,000-$20,000 of work, but
So
we
can
need
we,
to do it. You and I talk like Johnson Engineering is a good example.
so can we do like an RFP, RFQ, something like that? Is
Yeah,
that what we're talking
I'll tell
about?
you,
Invitation to bid?
that's gonna take several months. And I also think you could make an emergency procurement. So ever since COVID, I represent a lot of governments. I can tell you, I'm the city attorney for the city of Okeechobee. We hired a bunch of engineers to start doing design work on projects. We did it emergency, boom, we just did it. You can do it. You have, the governor's issued a bunch of executive orders that said, you gotta do what you gotta do. You have the authority to. But I'm not an engineer. So we have to put a scope of work together that we then tell Johnson Engineering or any number of firms, price this out. We gotta give them a scope of work. But I think whether it's 2 projects, 3 projects, 4 projects, we have literally millions of dollars of projects that we could get some money from.
You say that we need a scope of work, you're saying that, Emilio does it, somebody does it, we hire somebody to do that scope of work? I could see going outside of Mr. Bennett's office and getting that, because he's very busy. And Johnson, whoever, I don't care, as long as.
You guys have some good connections, no doubt, with some of these engineering firms.
I know one that knows this place, I can find it.
They won't do it pro bono though.
No.
They're not gonna do
But
it, put up scope of
maybe
work, they're not gonna
if
put up some work.
you could identify some people that think would do the right thing and try to, not run us over the coals, I'll talk to them, get Larry to talk to them, see what they can do. Just have a conversation. I know we're gonna pay them, we gotta pay them.
I call in the morning.
But let them know, it's just, we're chasing state and federal money.
No, I agree.
We got millions of dollars of drainage, flood control projects that we want.
And see, for me, this is what, and the board, this is what we have to do. We have one chance to get it right. And of course, if we do it ourselves, we take on the liability. If a designer, a firm does it, they take on that liability. They're the ones that get sued. They're the ones that go to court. But again, I totally agree with you because they'll give you but what I want though, John, I want a clear, precise scope of work. I don't like a lot of gray area.
Yeah. So here I put in section 3. The county shall coordinate with Central County on DEO community block grants, and the county shall share information with Central County regarding grant applications. It will coordinate preparation and submission of grant applications and work together to identify grant and project priorities. So I threw a little bit, they can't just
You gotta work with this, the county. But
Well, to be honest with you, just so you guys know, you might don't know because this just happened yesterday. We did a meeting with the county about this, and tomorrow we have a meeting for a half an hour. That's how busy they are. The state is only reserving a half an hour with all the districts to have a meeting. It's a conference call between Henry County, state, and us. So that's gonna happen tomorrow.
that's a great example where they've got this much money and this much need. When they see a district, they go, boy, they got their act together. Man, they've got 30% design, something like that. Guess who gets funded? So, again, there'll be other, this is a grant that may be cost share.
So what?
50-50, there's other things out there.
So what do you suggest that we reach out to designers to see if they want to work, or can you bring a
I think
little
we should have
sample
a
size?
conversation with a firm that can say, yes, we, number one, they have experience in designing large-scale, drainage, water management projects.
Stormwater, that's
They
right.
understand the state grant process. And if they say yes to the two of those, then we're gonna ask them, how do we get our relationship started? Give us a proposal. They're gonna ask us, what's the scope of work? We can do as much or as little.
So who has to design that? Him?
Scope of
No,
work?
the scope of work.
Well, I think the district engineer, yeah.
So if you can get me something, I have access to 8 to 12 design engineers.
We have one here that was good and he knows it, and he'll do it.
We have a conversation
Rock.
about that, Bennett.
Rock can do it.
Oh, I know Ron.
And he's,
He used to
hey,
be the county engineer.
right, he'll do it. He'll do it. He knows this place better than anyone.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
I can call him in the morning, see if he's interested.
Is he on his own?
Yeah, he's got his own business.
He's the one that did the best one.
I know.
He is,
Like from 10, 15 years ago.
yeah.
But yeah, let's do
That's
it.
what I'm saying, instead of going to get a firm that's new to all this guy, he hit the ground running right here, because
Might
he
be
knows this
less
area.
expensive, yeah.
He can tell you where the water comes from, where it starts,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
knows things that some of us may not know about this.
No, he was
Yeah,
the
he's-
county.
So he's the one who started the levy.
Yeah, he was with us, that's what I'm saying, okay?
So
So
what
he
do you
knows
know
it.
from us, John?
Call Rock, tell
The
him,
process?
and we'll start talking.
Yes, you want him to have, you want to talk, you want me to have him call you?
Honestly,
Oh, yes, talk to him.
the engineer would be best, but if not, then I'll talk.
And let's try to get like at least 2 or 3 firms to.
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
Look at the
We
scope
can-
of
we
work.
can-
And he's always been super reasonable.
So,
Good.
I would like to ask that the board vote to execute the interlocal agreement with Hendrick County.
All right, any
So
questions?
moved.
Any questions for me? All right. So we have a motion on the floor, we have a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
Now, make you tell the county tomorrow that we signed it, so we're good.
No problem.
Anybody have any questions for Mr. Primero? Primero, do you have anything else? Report?
No,
Well, we're gonna have to send it to them anyway, right? So we can do that.
right. I think the next item would be the reopening of the reservoir.
Okay. Anybody from the reservoir would like to speak? I know you, you guys sent something out to us in the email. Would you like to,
We sent an email.
speak, please?
My name's Patty from the Gardens of the Reservoir. We would like to see if we could open it back full blast. 7 days a week. Go ahead and open it back up to the original rules. I think our numbers are coming down enough COVID-wise that we're able to do that. Now on the weekends, we could still, if you'd like, we could still have the guard opening and closing the gate as he's checking people in.
Okay.
During the week, it'd be at your own risk. But I think right now we're ready.
Any questions from the board for the Gardens of the Reservoir?
So is it true you have to wear a face mask when you're on an ATV?
No.
Just like the guy going down, just like the guy going down the street on his bicycle going on.
I learned mine to sleep, John.
He's no well.
Who?
The one that you saw on the bicycle.
I've seen a bunch of them riding the bicycle with a thing.
On more than one?
Oh, yeah.
Any questions for the Gardens? Cause it's getting late on it.
I say we open it, let's let her ride.
All right, I have one. Any questions?
24/7, right?
I have no questions.
And that would be all the time, you know, if you guys.
24/7. Yeah, back to the old
Back up
schedule.
to the old.
24/7.
Okay, so you need to vote, because you voted.
The motion is, let's do it.
So do we have a motion on the floor to open it?
24/7, right, well, let's get the motion right.
With the old rules.
With the.
That's what you need.
Back to normal.
Yeah, we're going back to the original
Back to
rules.
normal.
Back to the normal operation.
Yes.
Right,
Do we have a motion on the floor?
yes, so moved.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye. Motion
Okay,
carries to
just the next question. Do we want the guard to be opening the gate on the weekends, or do we let key
So-
holders open the gate?
So let's do this, on the weekend, let's allow the guard to do it, because we're gonna,
We're
as
gonna
you,
see higher numbers on the weekends coming
yes,
in.
and they're gonna be higher numbers, but there's gonna be, people trying to buck the system as they've done. So as we're, I'm okay with the guard doing it for a while until they get used to it, and then we'll turn it over to the landlords, the owners. So let me ask you now, because I've gotten a few phone calls, so a few people have turned their keys in, right? Some were berry picking, y'all handled the situation very well. And there's another gentleman that his key was asked to be taken, and he's like, well, when can I get it removed? I don't mind reinstating, but if you guys can look at that over, give us, your idea when you think is a good amount of time. Of course, we make the final decision, and we can do it today if we wanted to. But I want the people to understand that is a privilege to get back there. Please obey the rules. Please, and I know you guys do, Becky, but tell them, read these things.
As far as the berry pickers, I think we need to wait till after season is over, and that's usually in November.
I think it's going to be over faster than that.
Well, right now they're scarce out there.
Yes.
So, I mean, we could,
They voted not to.
Right, but
reevaluate.
well, all I'm saying is remember that something you did in the past, which I think was a good idea, is when anybody wants reinstatement, they gotta come here and stand in front of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring that up. I haven't finished it. Yes. Thank you for taking so much. So, but yes,
But
I'm gonna
as
mention that.
far as the berry pickers, that's a federal rule.
Yes, it is.
That is something, and as far as the guardians are going, we recommend just holding off until the berries are gone. They're going in there, they're leaving trash. That's the biggest problem.
Works for me.
There is so much trash that comes out of there. When we did a cleanup, 90% of those areas, even after they picked last year, people were in there illegally picking. We would go in there and we'd come out with 2 55-gallon drums slam full of trash just where they were picking the berries.
And I agree with what Benny was saying earlier is if you see something, we have to start saying stuff. We gotta stop letting this stuff pass away.
And that's what we're getting now is people are calling us on the weekend and say, hey, I see so-and-so in there picking berries.
Good.
So that's what we're doing. That's at that point, we get one of the committee members, they go to the gate. That's when the key gets pulled.
We're making great progress. Thank you.
People are understanding. People are, oh, okay, I didn't know. Well, it's in your rules. So,
Yes.
we have the rules out. We'll show them. It's in the rules. You
Yes.
did violate.
Right.
And people are.
And we're trying to be lenient as much as possible.
We are. We don't take their berries away from them. We
No,
know it's
I appreciate
a
that.
source of income for them. We understand that.
Understood.
But
But you have to do it the right way. Like I told the one gentleman, I said, by the way, you did this because you did something wrong. I said, first of all, you have to have a license with the state. Maybe you have that, I hope you do. But second of all, you didn't get permission from Central County to do that. And so again, you did this at your own discretion. We can actually call a law on you. We're not trying to do that. I just said, you know what you did, just please try to follow the rules and we won't even have these discussions.
And we explain to them, when we pull their keys, we explain to them, look, the next time you're caught in here, it is trespassing.
Yes.
The law will be involved. That we can't do no more for you.
Do you get a lot of resistance?
Some.
We get some, but not a whole lot. I mean,
Some of them know
people
what
are
they did.
really.
It's come a long way. It's come a long way.
People have
Y'all
really.
done a great job.
We've got one key holder that did get pulled, and we've heard out there in the grapevine again that he's mad and upset because he can't get his key back. Well, when you're illegally letting people in under your key and you leave the gate, well,
It's
that's part of the rules.
Yeah, it's a privilege.
And that's what I take
If you don't
seriously.
like what I said, come here.
Yeah.
They can come
Well, that's the thing, and that's what we tell them. It's up to the board.
Yes.
The last decision comes from the board.
But you have to understand, we do honor your recommendation. We do look into it because y'all done an excellent job.
Yes.
A lot of people
Excellent.
did not believe that you guys would after a year still be doing it. You guys are getting stronger.
Strong.
So as Mr. Romero made the comment, and I want to as the chair and as I speak on behalf of the board as well, but as they said, if people want their key back, they're going to have to come front and center and explain to us why we should give you the key back and give you this precious privilege. You have access to, my goodness, all kind of nature and all kind of good things out there for you and your family. Nobody has that in their backyard. And that's why I don't ever want to give that thing up if possible. I don't want to ever give it up. Hold on 1 second, please. And the other thing was, speak to the committee. As you said, the numbers are going down. What I'd like to see, I'll get the board's opinion as well, but I'd like to see within the next month and a half, I'd like this to do maybe like a free day, an amnesty day for everybody to go out there, but not just to go out there for free. I want it to be, we'll donate trash cans, trash bags, go up and help. She's healed a lot. That reservoir is healed a lot, and I'm thankful for this, even though we can use it for our advantage. The plants have healed, the animals probably have loved it. We gave them a break, but we need to take care of that precious commodity that we've been given, and there's a lot of trash out there. I seen it when you guys took me on the tour. So if we can have a free day, everybody, you know what? This Saturday you can go out there, have a great time, but we're gonna go pick up and clean trash. I'll put Roland and Santana in charge of the hamburgers, cooking hamburgers and hot dogs when they come out.
Last year.
And we'll get involved. And that's a community event, a great community event.
Last year in March we did it. We had a really good success with that.
Good.
But that was his practice. That was the practice. That was the practice.
And that was our first time doing it.
Good.
And people really pitched in. People wanted to pitch in. We had bags that were donated. We had cases of water that were donated.
Yes.
People really, they want to come together.
Yes.
And if we give them that option to do that,
yes,
they'd be more than willing. A lot of people have said, hey, when y'all going to do it again?
Yes.
Hey, when can we do it?
So get us some dates. Get us some dates. Let us approve it, and let's move forward.
Now that it's open full blast, we'll get it.
Good.
We'll
So
get
make sure,
progress.
just let the community know, make sure, because I don't like getting bothered on the weekend like anybody else, but make sure, listen, you come here, you got to have your flag. If the kid is at a certain age, he's got to have a
16
helmet.
and under has to have a helmet.
And there's no sense in calling Mr. Mata on a Saturday if you don't have all these things. Look at your rule book. So that's why I say, if you guys or somebody can donate a big old placard, these are the rules. Check these off or you can't get in.
With that being said, we do have a helmet company that is willing to donate a couple of helmets
That's
to us
beautiful.
for that. So we're going to try to get that out.
Yeah, if there's family with needs, make that happen. Any questions?
Yes.
Hey, you have one, sir. Go ahead.
I think that we as a board should get jackets, vests, and on the back have the name of the organization, the Guardians of
Biker
Reservoir.
Biker vest. Go ahead.
So they could wear it. We could donate it to the group.
We don't need to donate it. They have $3,000
They have it already?
in the budget.
They have
Oh, they have a budget?
They have a line budget.
They have a line.
Okay.
You can work with Denise. She has a lot of goodies.
And Denise,
They have a line item.
yes,
And I'm gonna screen you if you don't have that receipt, Denise.
Don't worry about it. You're not gonna have to sign another check for $500. They have a line item.
Any
yes.
questions?
CCOM donated garbage cans for us, and we were very appreciative of that.
And do us a favor, everyone that y'all take a key, we want a recommendation of what y'all want to do with it.
Well, that's what
Let's
we've been.
email it to us.
We've been sending the email. I don't know if you're getting your emails. We've been
I'm
sending
getting the email saying what happened, but I don't think, maybe I didn't read far enough saying what
You're
y'all
not
want to do
reading
with it.
far enough.
Okay.
Because it is in there, yes, sir. We have been sending it to each one.
I'll read it.
I've been sending it to all the board members, all of our committee members, and to the attorney, just so everybody's on the same page.
Okay, good.
One thing to add also, when you guys have your meetings, can you allow the public, some people in the public say, hey, by the way, they're having these private meetings. Again, so please utilize some of these, our website, some other people's websites that we have, Facebook, all kind of social media outlets, to let them know, hey, by the way, we get together. The community's more than welcome to know what's going on when we cherish good input.
Absolutely. We have not had any private meetings whatsoever.
Understood.
Everything, all the meetings have been here that we have
Understood.
had. They have all been announced.
Understood.
We try to put it out as much as we can.
We support you guys 100%.
But now when we have AC at the clubhouse, you guys have some.
Hey, that's what it's
You'll have your
for.
own little meetings when you
Mr.
guys
Santana,
decide
you
there.
had a question? Go ahead.
That's right, you got that right, Mr. Rowley.
I agree with what you said, because
Yes,
that's
sir.
a lot of ice back there.
Yes.
I've been
Very
going back
nice.
there since 1980, 1979. You used to come here and walk back there. There's a woman back there. And one thing I want to mention is, before, we used to go from the pickup trucks and four-wheel drive, whatever, by the top of the levee, already. And we, one second, we do a lot of things, we do a lot of tourism out there. And now, we can do it.
Yeah, that's off limits.
They were destroying, people were riding up and down the sides of the levee, destroying the grass, which in fact makes the levee, compromises the levee. And we got tired of fighting with them, so we just locked it up.
That's the issue, Mr. Santana. Every good thing, you don't have a lot of people that obey. You know what I'm saying? That levee's tempting. Just like them swells, it's tempting to put them big old mud tires on them swells. And I've seen it. I've seen guys do donuts right in front of me. I think they've even done it in our staff at some of the. So again, not everybody follows it. I don't know if you know this, but we'll be paying for that levee project for about next 20 years probably.
A lot of money.
A lot of money was spent on the levee. We need to keep it
I
intact.
don't think, have you talked to people over there,
Yes.
like campaigning and all that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And let me tell you, some people are complaining about the price of the key.
Okay. So,
When I got here.
go ahead. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Let me finish.
Yes, go ahead, please.
How much is this up for?
When I used to live here, 1996, 2000, used to be free.
Yes, sir.
We didn't have to pay nothing.
Right.
Okay.
And in the 80s, it used to be free.
Okay.
When I got here, December 2018,
Yes, sir.
I pushed the key. This one, the beginning of last year.
Okay.
350 bucks.
Yes, sir.
I came back, I go to Belgium, purchase my key again, this year.
Yes, sir.
It was 150 bucks.
Okay.
Wait. That's not double the amount. It's 3 times the amount.
Wait till I tell you my number.
50 over 100 over 100.
You're not gonna like what his price is.
Wait till you hear my number. Yeah, no, go ahead.
And you know, I believe there is a lot of disabled people here in Ventura, there's a lot of poor people here in Ventura. Maybe Benny can pay 200, 300, 500, I understand. But there's people here that are disabled, that have the money to put their house. I think it should be considered disabled. They can't be going to the reservoir, right? It should be $50.
If they've got $30,000 bike,
Or more, reasonable. You know,
what is a hundred?
Aren't you paying monthly in advance?
Let me tell you something real quick.
Thank you for your.
Let me tell you something. I've been with this reservoir, the last time I was on this board, which was 6 or 7 years ago, for 12 years. It's costing us money. We had the environmental group in here.
Absolutely.
The last time I was here, before I left, they were wanting to close it down. Okay, wetlands. They came after us about the wetlands and the tracks and all the nonsense that was going on out there. They were gonna close this thing down. For some reason, they just turned around and walked away. I've said this before in this meeting. I don't know why, and I don't wanna push it too much, because sometimes when you turn over, the garbage, it starts smelling, so I let it go. I'm looking for them to come back to us again. They gave us a map of what they wanted done, and we had to fence off a bunch of that area, and it couldn't even be used. It was gonna cost us a fortune, okay? So we've tried to, number one. Number two is the cost of putting the security and everything out there. Why do we put security out there? Because there was clubs advertising on the web about come ride in Montura. I mean, before we grabbed a hold of this and these people came and helped us with it, it was a disaster. People from everywhere, garbage everywhere. It was club so-and-so, come out here. People from all over the place. It was getting to be well known in the state that you could come here. That was gonna lose us this area. So we had to hire security. We had to do a lot of different things that cost us money. We're still funding most of this. That the $150 is not covering the cost.
So
Let me tell you my number.
Go ahead.
And then, so you might want to sit down. My number was, no, you want to sit down and I'm going to tell you my number. My number was $1,500 a key, was my number. I'm going to tell you something, as time goes on, these places, I've been here since I was a year and a half old in this neighborhood. I have pictures of my dad and I shooting on Montura Ranch Estate when it was a cattle ranch. Okay, I can show you on the Dyko. I have a picture of my house. I've been here and I've seen this change, and I've seen it everywhere here. You used to go out anywhere, go rabbit hunting, go ride, and people started screwing it up, shooting equipment, shooting radiators out, knocking out glass on their tractors, and little by little, everything's gotten locked up. And even today, a lot of the places, the Big Cypress area has been, a lot of it's off limits, I understand. Slowly but surely, everything's closing down. So you have the Redneck Yacht Club, and you have a couple of these places that cost a tremendous amount of money to go to. And that's where it's going. This is one of the last places, and I'm sure there's probably one or two left, that you can do what we're doing. So this is why we're doing what we're doing, to preserve it. Like you said, it's a beautiful place. I like to go out there and ride, but if we do not, and that's why we got these people, thank God for this group, because we had to grab this thing and say, oh, we're going to lose it. And I will tell y'all, so you know now, it would not surprise me if in the future, South Florida Water Management was out here. They wanted to pay us money to use the reservoir. And the Sierra Club were flying over. One of our damn county commissioners was flying the Sierra Club over it. And look at all I mean, it was, I thought we were going to lose it. We got out of that, and here we are. So that's the reason. The money we're spending, it's I don't remember, what was it, $15,000, $20,000 a year?
So what?
So we're not even covering the cost.
So let me explain to you the 150, and that was a great question that you asked, and we do have a lot of people that ask a lot of questions. So the 150 a year, just to let you know, comes out to 41 cents a day. 41 cents a day to ride that thing 365 if you wanted to. That 150, Mr. Santana, if you can go let the citizens know as well, is barely pays for the security. So check this out. What if one day we don't have to have security out there? We can actually be sensible human beings and landowners and can do the right thing. Will that ever happen? I would love not to spend 150. I would love not to have a committee if we didn't have to. We're having to do that because we were tearing up the place. And we were allowing everybody and anybody into that place. They were duplicating keys, were they not?
Absolutely.
So that's the reason. And here's another thing, Mr. Santana. Most of these people that say they can't afford it, they have $1,000 to $1,500 phone.
Absolutely.
They got a four-wheeler that costs $10,000.
$30,000.
That's where, yeah.
But here's what I'm saying. They have a $1,500 phone, $1,200 phone, but you can't get $150 for a year? It's not a lot of money if you do the math. It's not a lot of money. Go ahead.
The people I'll be talking to, they're honest people, they're disabled people, you know what I'm saying? They're poor people, okay? And my opinion, if they can prove they don't have big income coming in, maybe those people can.
Why don't we do that? If you have people like that, we have people in our community that probably could sponsor them.
I'll sponsor a few of them.
I'll sponsor a few.
But I want to see, they're not going to like all the digging I do.
But see, the thing is
you got a $10,000 four-wheeler, I don't know, but anyway.
I can find people that will sponsor people with every, yeah. Again, most of, not everybody, but again, there's always, I think we've been saying it, and I've been telling our staff and everybody is, we have to get creative. But again, we have good people, we have good businesses that will help. If we have good, honest people and they need help, we're here for them.
We'll bring it to you.
Yeah, again. But unfortunately, when we make a decision, it doesn't benefit everybody. Some are going to be happy. Oh, why did her video start on Kiddo when Mario looks like this, right? We can't please everybody. And and he's doing an awesome job. He has thick skin. He can't please everybody. They's like, well, one, he must have paved your road. No, he doesn't. He don't pave my road, right? I'm on the list like everybody else. As a matter of fact, they probably do mine last. But I'm a resident as well. He doesn't do me any favors, and I thank God for that. I appreciate you.
Let me tell you one thing. I want to be clear. I am no criticizing you guys.
No. It's a tough job.
I'm talking to the people over there. They ask me questions, so I just want to bring it up.
It's a tough decision that we had to make.
Bunny Amber says, I understand, clearly, but at the same time, I have to bring the issues that the people of Montura are asking me out there. Right?
So
I can give them an answer.
So let's ask the honest people of Montura that you know as well is, can you help with everybody stop illegal dumping in Montura? Because here's what's going to happen sooner or later. And I didn't bring it up. We're going to have to start charging tipping fees if we don't get this under control. Like for instance, when you go to Clewiston, even though you're a resident, and I pay taxes, I hear that all the time. You don't think I pay taxes? I pay a lot of taxes as well. They still charge you to make that dump.
$80 a ton last time I checked.
So we haven't gotten there yet, Mr. Santana, and you're wanting to come on this board. So, no. I'm just letting know what you. No. I'm just telling you, these are the kind of difficult scenarios that are coming up.
I understand.
So if we don't get that number down, $106,000, $110, $120 for a year, that's a lot of money.
It's unacceptable. That's money we need to do something else with.
So we have to tell the citizens, hey, we have to do it better. Now, Denise has brought to our attention many times, but no resident has done it, is the county will come pick it up, but we don't package it right. We don't do it right.
I have a plan. If it doesn't get any better.
But we got to get going though.
Right now, I'm not going to discuss the plan.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
She has a great
with
idea.
The community helps out when it comes to the garbage.
If we bought into her plan, our budget numbers for that would go down, and we could use that money to do swell projects or any other project. But I appreciate that, and if you're elected, you will see some of the tough challenges that we have to face with limited supply.
Mr. Santana.
Thank you.
I want to leave you my phone number. Anyone that meets that criteria, send them to me.
Yeah,
I will.
Santana, just so you have an idea, real quick. Last year, we changed the lock on that gate 6 times, and each lock is $75. Why? Because people cut it off just to get in the reservoir. That's just, a little thing. We have to spend like $3,000 reinforcing the gates because we saw people carrying the 4-wheeler on top of the gate.
Wow.
To put them in the, we saw people with dirt bikes.
Honest people.
Rolling under the gate. So that's how decent are everybody.
So this is what happens when you.
Let me tell you.
Yes, sir.
I used to be a state correctional officer.
There we go.
How some people are. I know what some people.
What he's trying to explain to you, Mr.
But you have
Santana.
all those people everywhere.
Right, but this is the thing. When you on their position, my position, Becky's position, even their position, when you have rules and regulation, it has to apply to everybody that pays the tax.
I understand.
Either if you poor or rich. So the rules doesn't change just because you poor or you rich. That's what he's trying to tell you. If I get it, there's people that doesn't have that much money. Like he says, 41 cents a day is nothing. When you go out, you pay like $40 per person, not per vehicle, per person, to get on the club and all the mall places. So what they trying to tell you is that they, as a board, they cannot divide the rules for poor people or.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Now I have an answer. When I talk to the people over there, they confront me and ask me the same question. I thought these people I've been talking to, how would relate to them the answer that Mr. Albert
and we have great people here in Monterey. We have great organizations that will help people that are in need. If you know people that are in need, then he will cut off his right arm to help somebody. I've seen it happen. He's done a lot for this community that a lot of people don't know. He'll do it. Denise will help as well, including myself. I'll do above and beyond to help somebody that's in need. So I bring their concerns and we will help them.
But tell them don't come to my house on a $26,000 Polaris. They're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell them. They're not gonna like what I'm gonna tell them.
Tell them ride the donkey that day. Ride the donkey.
I was gonna mention as far as As far as a
Thank
key, you've got one key holder. You've got 2 extra passes. If
Yes,
somebody wanted to go in and have a key, as long as you go in with that yes.
easy.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
I know.
I mean, it'd be one landowner, but you could have up to 3 people, up to 3 vehicles. So people could always get with another landowner, and it happens all the time. People that don't have keys, get with another landowner. Go with the landowner. As long as you're with the landowner, you
That's
have to
correct.
stay with them at all times.
That's correct.
But you can ride all day.
So
As
how
long
many
as you're
people
with
can you
that.
bring with you to the?
It's a key holder plus 2 guest passes. So you have a total of 3 vehicles.
And you can put,
Okay,
how
and you
many
can
people in the
put
vehicle?
however many in a vehicle.
No, people,
You want.
it doesn't matter, it's just the vehicle.
We just approved Santana to go back to the way we were. So again, if you have a less fortunate one, you can get a hold of Patty. And she might say, hey, you know what? There's a key holder that would love to take people out there. You can tag along and they can ride for free.
I need a key.
No problem.
I have an expedition 2004.
That's all right. You don't realize the rigorous background check that we can get. You don't realize it.
So
Hey, I'm sorry.
I'm gonna ask you to pawn that gold. I'm gonna ask you to pawn that gold ring there, and we'll get plenty. We'll get plenty of keys for you. We'll get questions.
I don't mind helping anyone who's less fortunate.
We'll see your income
I
tax.
thank God every day for all the blessings that we have.
Yes.
I know
I don't want to be bad
Hey,
next
But we have a lot of good people that will help you here.
Yes, I was glad that they're
There's
really.
always a solution to a problem.
There's
There's
always-
always a solution.
You don't know me at all, but I'm known for educating. That's my favorite word, according to Becky and many people that know me. Educate the public. I'm no longer going to use that word. It's inform the public, and that's what you're going to be doing when you make it to this board. You're going to be informing the public because you're going to go back to them and tell them, well, this is. I'm learning, and this is what I have to tell you.
I just want to make this clear for the record. I'm playing with you, bro. I gotta buy you key. I mean,
I know.
my next question is,
You can purchase the key. They can purchase the keys starting tomorrow.
Okay,
And just let the community know as well, and the citizens is we have to follow the guidelines. And I don't agree with all of it, but it is.
I just want to explanation, so when I talk to them, I know what I'm going to tell them.
An educated question. Educated
Let me tell you one thing. I don't know you. Everything I know about you, everything I heard about you, I really respect it. I love it.
Thank you very much.
I was just gonna say, don't believe everything you hear.
Everything you hear, man. She's blushing.
That was defending you.
Stop the
Hey,
face. She's
I was
blushing.
defending you, because you got this bunch out here. They'll trash you behind your back.
John, do we have any other thing to vote on? Because my wife's gonna kill me.
We're done.
All right.
It says he's hungry and sleepy.
All right.
Yeah, I'm getting that way.
All right. So, with all said, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Motion.
All right. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone, for coming. What do I have to do? You got to take
I signed them already.
Listen, I want to shake your hands because it's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll try to get something together, and like you're saying, in the next couple weeks, we'll clean it all up, so then we'll be able to. Okay.
Tengo que
I'm gonna be honest with
de la cámara.
you. We've heard.
That's it.
I know. We've heard, and then we
We'll mess with it.
that are talking, oh, you know what they're doing? This is what- We'd like to see all